There we go there, Brad. A bit noisy. The T20 final. This is the Allan Pettigrew second grade final between the University of Queensland and Northern Suburbs. My name's John Devine. Joining me, well, sometimes you might have heard the two of us. No, it's not Statler and Waldorf. It's we do a bit of football together. And Brad Talon, good morning to you, sir, and welcome to Allan Border Field.
Yeah, thanks, John. Great to be here. Reliving my old days. It's a while since I've done some cricket commentary. I used to do a little bit for the ABC and many moons ago, so it's nice to be back to see a little bit of cricket and a bit of T20 cricket. After watching, I've brushed up on, been to a few heat games this year. I'm not sure whether to mention them or not, they're so up and down, but it should be a great game here today. These two haven't played in the T20 comp, in the reserve grade competition, so be interesting to see how they go.
Yeah, University of Queensland won the toss and have elected to bat. Sometimes they prefer to actually chase because they bat so deep. You see the lineup there: Belford, Budden, Gardner, Davis, Doogie Hill's skipper, Paul DeRosa, Harry Walker, keeper Jack Garrity, Arnard Arsaha, Paul Woodford, and Josh Wigginton, I should say. The batsmen, the batting are Woodford and Hill, bowling from the southern end for the Vikings. It's Tommy O'Malley, who is the skipper from the city end. So it's a T20 clash between these two sides. Both sides finishing in the top two. No semi-finals played because of good old Mother Nature decided to mess with that. Short shower this morning, I think, Brad. Did you have one over your way?
Yeah, that's just a few drops. But, University of Queensland, North's come in just losing the one game. Uni of Queensland got in on run rate after four teams tied for second. So they got in by 0.14 on the net run rate score. Northern Suburbs 5 wins and a loss. As I said, they haven't played each other in this format this year. With a net run rate of 2, North and University of Queensland 0.53, getting them in over the top of Redland, Sandgate, Redcliffe and South Brisbane, who also had 4 wins. Here we go.
All right, so from the southern end, it is McFadden, in fact, who's coming in. Right arm over the wicket, one slip, that's a wide delivery, allowed to go through, the loosener, as we like to call them. Interesting, Brad, with the pitch that we've got here at Allan Border Field on your screen, it's the one furthest to your left. So therefore, the boundaries to the eastern side, or the Ray Lindwall side of the ground, 52 metres, not very far at all. So it's raised in the legs.
I get it that far.
Yeah, probably could if I was bowling, definitely. So for no run. Whereas on the western side, Brad, that is a long way. It would have to be. We did the T20 final here for the women. Their maximum is 62 metres for, believe it or not, for club cricket, 59 for internationals. And it is another 15 to 20 metres on top of that. So it's a good 80 metres. Fadden again, one slip, a wide slip up there. Catch outside is a great catch at the backward point. And the Vikings strike straight away, and they've got rid of the tenacious Paul Woodford.
Wow, Michael Dawson, good catch, just over his head. McFadden just trying to pick the gap. Unfortunately for him, he didn't pick the gap, and it came to it was Dawson. It came to Dawson very quickly. Just have a look at this again as you see the replay. Just perfectly positioned. He was sort of falling over backwards, wasn't he, Dawson? But a couple of early balls, just playing, and then a slash, and what a great start that is for the probably the underdogs, you'd have to say, here today.
Yeah, the University played in a lot of finals. No strangers to looking for some silverware, but that it was wide outside off stump, and the big fella, big Paulie Woodford, just absolutely smashed that. And I think it might have actually been a case of if that had gone through, it was 4 runs. And you just see him, can't believe it, he's on his way. McFadden strikes.
A great wicket for McFadden, that is, isn't it, early on? Wow. It's interesting, isn't it? Just a bit of rain around, you just wonder about the decision to bat first, don't you, with winning the toss too? Whether there's some quite heavy clouds around the ground. It's quite often the teams, if there's a bit of rain around, like to know what they're chasing in terms of the Duckworth-Lewis system. But
there's a third one now, isn't there? Stern. He brought the wicket thing in.
Yeah, he fixed up a few things that happened early on.
But you're right. You know, you can recalculate what's happening with the weather is affected. At the moment, it's overcast conditions to the city and a little bit of cloud where it's been coming from the last few days. But in the power play, you probably you're happy to lose 2 or 3 wickets in that first 6 overs. Of course, one of the first brings Ben Davis to the crease here. A regular fixture in first grade is Benny Davis.
Shot. Just get off the mo. Oh, misfield. If that had been able to be fielded there, but that's going to go through for 4. Misfield. Just racing in there. Got the number plate. I think it might have been. Let's just see. They went off. They took off for the single, and they were just trying to. Obviously thinking about the run out, but unfortunately through for the boundary. So off the mark, the university side.
Yeah, he threw it before he got it.
Yeah.
But forward to Ben Davis, not a bad way to start. 400 run strike rate at the moment. Fadden that strain down the legs and. Two men allowed outside the circle for the first 6 overs, Brad, and on that eastern side where the circle is, there's only 17 metres. I paced it out from there to the fence, so really outside the circle by much.
And watching down the other end. Thank you. 5 runs scored off the first 5 balls. Making 1 for 5 so far this over.
Yeah, the first one was a loosener. I thought it might have been called a wide. The second one was. And the third one found the bat.
Slip in early to OC. And outside, that's a good opening over. 1 for 5.
Yeah, just shouldering arms there. Just was the second wicket in the over. Was out there to be hit, almost similar to the one that Woodford did slash at. Yeah. Good start here for the Vikings, and you're right, they are probably favourites the students. Strong club. Obviously, Ben Davis is one of those players who's part of the first grade side. Hamish Gardner, the Scottish international, he's come back from injury. He'll be wearing the number 16. Well, Hamish, the coaches over at university as well. It's pretty unusual. See slower bowlers going to start proceedings here from the northern end, Brad. Now, we've had many people call it the Crosby Park end, the northern end. Myself, because of my diet, the McDonald's end.
The dressing room,
yeah. Well, they're using that because the English Lions are downstairs using the dressing sheds here, so I'll be training over on.
Just use that dressing room myself when I refereed here for refereeing a junior schools grand final here. Many moves.
Macca into the attack this time. Mid-wicket, as I mentioned. Just trying to bring up the ground so you can see the short boundary over to your left of screen, top of screen. Right, camera does go far.
I know, it's quite an amazing difference, isn't it? It's, I think they might have been a bit nice to brought the rope in a little bit on this western side.
That's for radio there. Go through that field placing this first ball. Person. Right arm around the wicket here to Doogie Hill. Another big single.
Nice bit of fielding there from close in, but
gardening.
If you watch the
bit of gap behind the wicket, isn't there? You can just dab one behind.
Yeah. And the over cow is
it's a big hit, isn't it? Bring the spinner off from this end. The big hit over cow corner is a long hit. And he's just trying, you can see that there, just trying to dab that one down the line square. He's looking, practicing that shot. A lot of vacant room behind the batsman on both sides of the wicket.
Was that ever a point?
To hit with the spin over finds the fieldsman.
Saw Carroll last time.
Yeah.
Sweep in, so not risking it this time. Only 2 off the over so far. 4 balls gone.
Another quick single. Have a shot.
Good all round, well run, but good fielding that time. Nice throw in from McFadden. It was McFadden. But, once again, well run.
Guarantee you, Doogie Hill's going to like this. For 4, 2 bounces.
And that, you can see that's the place to go. The fieldsman now having to run down there to get the ball in Barry Vester. He's the closest 2 down there, and that wasn't the place to bowl. Unfortunately, we've got an over up there to then from McPherson, but unfortunately that one just straying down the leg side, and despite how far it is to the boundary, easy pickings.
Yeah, so there you go. There's just proved my point. He just doesn't like running. But that was ever hit. Just straying down on the leg side. Big boundaries, but as Brad said, nobody behind square. Outside the circle, the 2 men that are out are both one at mid-wicket. He's only 2/3 of the way in. That's how far it is. And another man, the over actually, deep extra cover, 2/3 of the way. And then we got a 3rd man. As Carroll comes into the attack.
Bringing the changes and the bowling early on. And you got a wicket.
Yeah, see ya.
1 for 5 off his first over, but been relieved. Interesting to see what score. The pitch looks in great condition. The field looks fairly quickly, despite there's been a bit of rain. I don't think Brisbane got a lot of rain yesterday. There was a lot of rain around Brisbane, but I don't think they got very much here, so the outfield should be fairly slick. Big single again. They just hesitated. There was a little bit of hesitation. A bit of backing up. Everyone ending up on the ground, but just a little bit of hesitation with that run, and that might have been close with a direct hit.
The Doogie Hill doing the penguin there. Little slide. Doogie Hill, the last time we were doing a double header over at University for UQCC TV. Doogie Hill was gallivanting around the United States, so he's probably brought a few In-N-Out burgers back with him. There's again Carroll from the southern end, and that's a good ball. Wow.
Just beating Hill outside the off stump. Thought they had an extra fieldsman out there, the north side, but the umpires are in just about the same colour. So I thought the square leg umpire was an extra fielder. I don't know how they sneak that one. If you're looking around the field, the umpire's in the blue and black. With a quick glance as a batsman could be a bit difficult. But there's a big gap at square leg. And there's a nice shot there from Hill. Straight back over the bowler's head. Fielding, but yeah, not real quick the outfield, was it? Not sure he really got hold of that one, but well fielded, picked up a couple.
Yeah, might have plugged a little bit, might have been like your approach shot to the green, Brad, a little bit of backspin. But yeah, couldn't get any straight on that, straight out of the umpire's head. So Carroll just pitching a little bit too short. Hill's able to get underneath that. He's got 3 so far, 2 pills to go. Well, you can see Doogie Hill walking across the crease there, trying to bring in that short boundary, and he hit across the line there and almost found the edge into Snell's gloves.
Only about 50 metres there on the onside to the boundary, and that's clearly where he was aiming, but didn't look a very elegant stroke at all. Over this from Carroll. Either 3 runs off it so far.
Yeah, steamy conditions. Certainly get a lot of moisture coming out of the ground, but they're using the Kookaburras, a major sponsor of this T20 competition here.
Nice shot, but there's a long run there for the fieldsman. Oh, there was a bit of hesitation again, the running at the moment. Oh, and that's hit the stumps, and is that out? Big appeal, but just home. I was saying there was a little bit of hesitation by Hill down the other, and the North players can't believe it. Let's have a look at this. You see that there was Hill stopped at the other end, and a beautiful throw in, and is he? Oh, I'm not sure he would have survived.
If we were going upstairs, they're coming up here.
That was out.
It was out, but they're going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Good throw. Doesn't get any better than that.
It was Barry Boster out there, beautiful throw, and that was out. Because we saw that hesitation, and Hill's got away with one there, so picks up the 2 runs. Bit lucky, 1 for 17.
Like I said, it's not the 100 metres or the beep test would be something that Doogie Hill is well acquitted to perform. He's gassed at the moment.
Well, it was the hesitation. It was that hesitation again. We saw one earlier on a single. There was a hesitation, so these two, Hill and Davis, have really got to get that running between the wickets. Look at this. Just a magnificent throw. You can see he stopped at the other end, Hill, and then turned. And, well, he was out, but surviving. Just.
He might go on with it here, Hill, but I can assure you he's probably going to have a word to Benny Davis and saying, look, mate, you're 2 foot taller than I am. Slow it up. We've got another bowling change this time from the northern end. It's Jess coming in, left arm over. There's some swing there. Swung it into the pads of Davis, who this time just a single, guaranteed. He wasn't going to push for 2, which takes away a little bit of the pressure they can put on the fieldsmen. If both batsmen aren't running that first one fast, it gives them fieldsmen a little bit more time to gather the ball and get the return in.
And as I said, add that little bit of hesitation to that. So the 4th different bowl used in the 4th over. You said a little bit of swing with the first ball from Jess. Let's see if he can move it again.
That has swung right between bat and thigh pad.
It is pretty humid, isn't it, today? So getting that one really whipping around. Let's watch this one again. Just wow! How did that miss the stumps?
Don't worry about the edge.
Went through them. I think that went through the stumps, didn't it?
I don't know.
That was a magnificent delivery. Wow! Oh, must have missed by millimetres. Here he comes again. Big appeal for LBW. And now he was run out. He hit the stumps. Unfortunately,
what's going on out here?
It's just crazy. Carroll coming in would have run him out by about 1.5 metres. Let's have a look at this one again.
Let's have a look at LBW first.
It's going down the leg side. Yeah. Oh, gee.
Well, the keeper's just going down that way.
It was pretty adjacent. I think it might have just been swinging down the leg, but there we go. Look at that. He'd given up. Wow.
Doogie Hill doing everything. He's trying
to get himself out.
Yeah. Don't hesitate, young man. Anyway, Jess is still just the one off he's over so far. Going down leg side and appeal, trying to put the umpire off, and it has worked because the wide wasn't called.
That was a wide.
Doogie Hill's remonstrating, wondering why that wasn't called.
Although he had gone a long way across his stumps there, Hill.
I don't know whether I got that in time. Just have a quick look, see if... no, too late.
He had gone a long way across Hill, but I still think 95% of the time
to remove the grey area, Brad, anything
right.
down leg side is usually called.
They call it wide, don't they?
Anyway, this has just been chaos. This is over. Crazy. Steps across again. That's swung in again.
Oh,
now there's a late call.
Again.
Well, Benny Davis this time, he's decided he was running to the danger end, and he's just tried to get Doogie Hill out of dodge.
Well, I think the problem was Hill was trying to work out where the ball had gone. I think he was worried about it going back onto his stumps. If you have a look at this again, he didn't see it. Obviously hit his back leg. He was just making sure it wasn't hitting the stumps. Meanwhile, Davis was off to the races.
He's off to the Harold Park.
Goodness gracious.
Last ball of Jess is over. Wideish. Benny Davis pushes that to extra cover. No run.
Over. Just the two runs off it. What a great over there from Jess.
That thing had everything. They're still running at nearly 5 and over amongst all.
Yeah, Davis 9 off 10, Hill off 10 off 11. So they're playing themselves, having a bit of a chat in the middle of the pitch. The two batsmen. Yeah, they're going to have a talk here. Doogie Hill, the man on your left, on his haunches. He is the skipper. Feeling the heat. I'm suggesting a couple of in and out burgers are just starting to take their toll. Doogie Hill. He'll certainly be a fixture in the bowling attack with these slow offies. As let's try and make out who the bowler at that I think it's
there's McFadden
McFadden
again.
coming back on. He bowled the first over of the match, took 1 for 5.
I don't know how they can do that. Bowl 1 over, have a spell, and then come
Yeah,
back.
it's
And
interesting. First over, now the 5th.
yeah, you can't afford
Here
to have a
comes
bad ball.
McFadden. And beautiful shot. Straight back. We just talked about that. Unfortunately, that was really a bit of a loose, and he got his length wrong there, McFadden, and that was a gift for. Look at this one again. Being just wrong length, right in the slot. That one for Hill. He'll enjoy that one because I'm not sure. I don't think he's that keen on running.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to hit it now. But he got the left leg out of the way there, straight through the line. Then McFadden.
They put a man back there now.
So 2 men still out. That man is a deep long on, and a man at deep extra cover.
Trying once again, going for that short boundary on the left-hand side. There's on the leg side. There's plenty of room out there. Well, he doesn't have to hit it very far.
Well, he's almost walked to the boundaries. That's how gone for a bit of walk to square leg. But yeah, he's going to. Not the first time he's done it. Is it Brad? He's hit across the line, and it's just holding up a little bit for him. I think he's just waiting for it to come on a little bit quicker. But let's see how he goes. For mine, straight seems to be the way he seems to be hitting him better. This time he's gone aerial.
Wow.
An aerial
big
for
hit.
6.
That's 6. No, man, that would have been 6 wherever the pitch was, that one. Just about destroyed the tractor over there. Up on the hill. That cleared the fence by... Well, I suppose when you have a look at it, it's probably only it's still only a 70 or 75 metre hit, but just once again, McFadden coming back in, just getting his length a little bit wrong there, and you can see Hill's intent at the moment. Bang, there we go. Got a lot of elevation on that one.
Well,
First 6 of the innings.
I can't help think, Brad, that the conversation in the middle pitch was either hit him big or we just don't run.
Yeah.
I'm not running anymore. I've had enough. It seems to be working, but at the expense of McFadden, that's wide
Quick
outside.
single.
Would
Would have been close again. They're testing out the fielders.
Yeah, Benny Davis again, accomplished cricketer. He called that one. He was going to the danger end, if there is such a thing, the way fieldsmen can throw down stumps these days. But you tend to throw the ball towards the keeper's end. But if you run that first one hard, the fieldsman's got to decide which end is the best one to throw to. So there's that little bit of hesitation from the fieldsman, which can get a batsman home. McFadden, 1 for 16. Slower ball straight back.
11 off this over so far. Davis 9 off 11. Hills moved to 21 off 15.
My calculations, Brad, that'd be a 30-run partnership. I think Woodford out without anything on the board.
One for none. So it's been a bit of a sneaky 30 they put on. One for 30 if you count the run out. There's a bit of a waft of that one outside the off stump.
Oh, I like Benny Davis to do that. Not much footwork involved in that one. That
He just stood and delivered, didn't he? 1 for 30, 11 off the over. That's what they moved up to. That's 6 and over, of course.
That's had 6 there from Doogie Hill. Yeah, so they do bat deep, do the students. Hamish Gardner. Probably Paul Woodward's probably their biggest hitter. Dylan DeRosa can certainly get hold of it, but Paul Woodford Senior is probably watching there in Wales, watching his lad. If he went to get a couple in the first over, well, he's missed the...
Well fielded on the follow through there by Jess. Of course, we've seen, interesting to see, they were dipping round in that first over from Jess.
Last over of the power play. They've got a squeaky chair. It better be the chair.
I was going to say, I hope that is the chair.
I did do the hedges on Friday.
Jess again. Full toss, smash back, but well fielded. Just for the single. Just trying to get that swing, Jess, at the moment. Unfortunately, just a little bit full, that one.
Well, he's got the in-swing and going to the right-handed batsman, which is all well and good because of the deep mid wickets back, fine legs back. So there's always a couple of runs there. He's got to pitch it outside off and try and swing it. He nearly bowled Doogie Hill in the previous over. Went for a quick single.
Once again, that's that ball that's it's sort of come into T20. It's hard to one of those ones they say it's, you know, that full outside off stump.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do anything with.
Ben Davis looked at the umpire, but there's two blue lines that are a guide for the...
They're only a guide. They're only a guide, but nothing wrong with that delivery, I don't think. Just a very good delivery in one day in T20 cricket these days.
Yeah, 1.5 overs, just done for 3.
Once again, that full ball, but unfortunately, that's the problem, isn't it, when you're trying to deliver those? If you just get your length slightly wrong, most batsmen will deal with it, and Davis has done that, just over pitching a little bit of, I think he got that on the full.
Full,
yeah. So, and that short boundary out there, picked the gap beautifully between the two fielders.
Yeah. Hard luck there for Jess.
First boundary off Jess. On middle stump. Just doesn't seem to be dipping around quite as much as it did in the first over. It was like a boomerang.
Well, McFadden did to the other end. He must be shining or wetting the wrong side of the ball. That did tell Jess. One ball remaining, but
it's going okay by Jess. None for 8 off. One ball left in his second over.
Well, he'll fancy himself against Doogie Hill. One, he's pitched it right up and almost bowled him. Another one went between bat and thigh pad. And he's beaten him again.
An agricultural swoosh to finish the over.
That's exactly what it was.
So not too bad, only 5 off it, 1 for 35.
We're in trouble then. Got hold of that. End of the power play. So we'll see what happens with the field placements, 'cause especially with the short boundary. Looks like it might be O'Malley, perhaps. And umpire signalling the end of the power play.
So 1 for 35. That's
They did well.
They did well to recover that after losing a wicket only third ball. It was, I guess, University would have been looking for a few more, but to lose that ball, lose the wicket of Woodford third ball, would have put a bit of a dent in their hopes. So they managed to negotiate the rest of the power play without losing a wicket. Although, of course, we did see the run out that wasn't given. But 1 for 35, probably 10 runs short of what they would have liked. Uni, I would have thought, on the board at this stage. Not for 36, sorry.
So Carroll, it's a slash outside that's going to go through third man just for the single. So with that end of the power play, you can just see on the screen there's a couple of plays you won't see, but we've got a man right on the rope at cow corner, long on, long off. Deep extra cover, and a third man, which is only 2/3 of the way to the boundary. So there you're 5 men outside, and deep long off, I should say, as well. So
nice shot. It's going to pick the gap in the outfield, is it? Yeah, just running away for 4. Crowd getting into it down low. That was a very, very well played shot, that one.
I can assure you there will be some students down there from first grade and 3rd to 6th grade down there, so
nice shot there
University.
From Hill. Moves to 26. A long off and a long on out there for the ball back over the bowler's head, but that's a full toss, and that just there's that short boundary, and that was easy pickings there. Hill liking that delivery.
Just like watching a car crash then, wasn't it?
Yeah. We just put his bat there and the ball landed on it. He went for 6 basically. Didn't look at that, just boom. Just a little chip shot, wasn't it?
Far at all.
And as you can see, that went over the 2 fences out there. So as we said, only 50 odd metres out to the fence on that side, and Hill taking full advantage. He's moved to 32 off 20.
Well, ever since he put the running sprigs away, he's decided to go big and large, and he can do that. Doogie Hill scored a couple of centuries this year.
Yeah, 20 of his last 21 haven't involved running. Then that's bowled him.
There you go. So he's walked across the crease again and tried to get that across the short boundary, and he struck, has Carroll. Got to touch up the ball before, and this time he pitched it up right on middle stump, and bang, Castle's knocked over
Yeah, you miss, I hit. And that was obviously Carroll's idea. Get that the full ball. And once again, that's the danger of playing across the line. As we have a look at the replay here, you can see once again he'll trying to go over that short boundary. He came across a long way, didn't he? Actually outdid himself. He actually just got across far too far and walked across actually he was just trying to snick that one down on the leg side behind square, and unfortunately fell across his stumps too far, and Hill's gone. 32 off 21 balls, so not a bad knock.
Yeah.
He hit 3 4s and 2 6s in that.
There's your bowling figures. McFadden and Carroll with his first wicket. So we have to finish his second over.
Yeah, 4 balls gone in his second over. And Gerrity, the new batsman. Jay Gerrity, as we just saw that dismissal again. Walking across his stumps there. Hill. And 47, the partnership, so just short of the 50.
Seeing where that actually bowled into it. There's a Yorker just ran his legs.
Well, I think it just hit leg stump. I mean, off stump, straight on. He'd walked so far outside his stumps, it hit the base of off stump.
Carroll. Again from the city end, down leg side, and there's our first sundry, I think, Brad.
Yeah,
if I'm
first
right.
wide. One wide.
Garrity, a giant of a man. Look at him, he's taken 2 steps and he's halfway down the pitch. Big unit.
He is a big man, isn't he?
Isn't he?
Goodness gracious.
So good attacking here from O'Malley, the skipper from North. He's put a slip in, a wide slip at that. Backward point, extra cover on the fence. Up-ish.
Great fielding, but just taking the single. Gerrity to get off the mark.
Not sure who called that. Probably Garrity himself, just to, like you said, get off the mark.
Always get
Slip comes out. So finally comes up inside the circle. And they've got a man right on the cow corner. He's not far enough back. So if they go for it, they're going to get over his head any time. Long on, it's a different story. Slashes outside, off stump, finds the man a deep backward point for a single.
So a wicket off that over to Carroll.
Yeah, they just got to work it around the ground now. You batsman in Garrity before they launch again. There's a lot of real estate out here at Allan Borderfield. And now that they've got the spluttering running between wickets of Doogie Hill out of the way, these two.
Well, it was interesting. Once they decided not to run anymore and just hit boundaries, they looked a lot more comfortable. Hill certainly looked a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, natural game. Play natural game, they say. Slogging. Good old Doogie.
So 2 for 50. Coming up for 50, coming off the last ball of the 7th over.
This will be Barry Bester coming on to bowl from the northern end. His first over. Certainly capable of taking a lot of wickets is Barry Bester for the Vikings. Tall man, and he looks a little bit like Alex Day from the Sunshine Coast. Great to hear Alex is back out of hospital.
Is he? That's great.
Yeah, back on his feet.
I saw a fair bit of the Sunny Coast team over the holidays. My nephews and brother were up there with me on holidays with my mum up there, and we used to go up to the nets up there and see the Sunshine Coast team practicing. Ooh,
oh, there's a ball.
Look at that one missing outside the off stump, Davis. Not sure he got that close to it, did he? Let's have a look at the replay. Just a little bit of movement away off the pitch there. Some couple of green tinges on the pitch.
Yeah, it's a typical Allan Border. It's almost like the Gabba. It looks like there's a lot of juice in it, but if you
do a bit early,
then after that, and then just flattens out.
Slower delivery, attempted slower delivery, unfortunately. Just getting a little bit full, but he'll be a bit disappointed that he didn't take a little more advantage of that one, Garrity, but just the single.
Well, here's Garrity. He's taking guard on off stump.
Sorry.
So he's going to look
Davis.
to try and get best of the pitch wide outside off stump, and we've got 4 on the offside.
Straight back past the bowler, just for another single. Interesting to see he's standing. He was taking guard. Actually, he was a little bit outside off stump, if anything. Quite interesting.
So we've got Ben Davis has been there since replacing Paul Woodford in the first over. He's got a third man inside the circle, backward point, deep extra cover. Covers almost to the
Right on the
circle, yeah.
Oh, once again, just missing that one out. Well, it looked like it moved off the pitch a little bit again, that one as well.
Well, generally you don't get a lot of sideways movement off Allan border, but
certainly that first one that that Davis played at and missed just moved a little bit, but maybe that was just a false trot. Only 2 runs off the first 4 balls of this over from Bester.
yeah, Benny Davis has to adjust, and it's a good ball. Not much you can do with that.
Been a good over this one. Been right on the mark from the start, Bester. Second one just a little bit. He just overpitched the slower ball a little bit, but Davis wasn't able to adjust quickly enough to take advantage of it. 6.64 the current run rate. Nice ball of the 8th over.
Ooh. Well, nearly killed the umpire.
Running. Good over.
I've got to say, a good over there from Barry Best. A good start, but Benny Davis, I'm liking his positive calls between wickets. Every time he's made the call loud, sharp, and he's taken off like a hare. And he's going to the danger end.
Well, I'm sure he would have been watching. He could have been out there a lot earlier, Gerrity, because of the running. There was probably a good 4 run-out chances, and one, as we saw in our replay, a direct hit from the outfield from Bester. Did in fact catch Hill just short of his ground, but given the benefit of the doubt from the umpires, and so Gerrity would have seen that, and I'm sure he's just had a bit of a chat to Hill again just to make sure they're running. It was really Hill who was hesitating a fair bit. It was Hill who was hesitating a fair bit, wasn't he? And Davis was calling him through a few times, and Hill was sort of saying, "Who, me?"
Exactly right. Who else is there? Ben Davis. Well, I think O'Malley has found out the formula for his bowlers, and that they need to pitch it up. There is swing if they can pitch it up with the breeze. No flags here. Oh, there is a flag actually over the middle pole there. And that's just dangling down, so not much to work with. But very muggy, Brad.
Yeah, a little bit of slight bit of movement in the field, but it's a very warm day, up around the 31 degrees, I think, already. So a slash at that one outside the off stamp. The big man Gerrity.
Yeah, I think Ben Davis, if he can stay there to the death and allow someone like Garrity, and Garrity just being nice there with the ball, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I know he's a new batsman. You haven't got time to settle in T20 cricket. You've got a couple of siders, then you've got to launch yourself. And he's a big unit, long levers. There's a short boundary.
Oh,
he's going that way.
Great attempt that we saw a catch earlier. Just couldn't quite get hold of it. He was looking for that short boundary. Was it Dawson out there? I think it was Dawson again, was it? It was Dawson who took the first catch of the match. I think it was him again out there. Just see this. Great. Timed his leap beautifully.
So
that would have been a screamer.
Number 12, who's that?
McPherson.
He's doing the Toyota ad there in the foreground. Lovely stuff.
He thought if he jumped a little bit higher, it'd work, as we see the next ball goes well fielded down on the boundary. Restricting it to a couple.
I really do think we need to see that again. We'll show it at full speed. Tried to get his mate up there, but no, couldn't get him up there in the line out.
It was a great attempt.
That's the second attempted screamer for the Vikings.
Goodness.
Ben Davis frustrated now.
Trying to get some wind. He's trying to get a bit of breeze out there by swinging the bat.
And I think Benny Davis is a great player. He's more the along the grass cover driver.
He's at that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Seen a couple in the heat games. You get to even cutting last night. He was, I think, that 22 off 22. He saw 21 off 25. You're starting to think, I'm eating up some balls here and not getting enough runs.
That's all he needs to do. Just get the single. It's the end of the over on McFadden. Well bowled, almost taking a wicket in that over. 9 gone. So we're almost approaching the halfway mark. I think Ben Davis just turned the strike over and let Garrity go nuts.
Good. 2 for 58.
Yeah, you're right, Brad. You can look at that scoreboard. I don't think they've got the one downstairs. They may have it working. But he'll know, Ben Davis. He's been around for a long, long time.
Yeah, once you get to that sort of 20 off, he's had a sider, although I'm not sure it's that easy out there. We saw a fair bit of movement, of course, from Jess. They've been bowling very full, haven't they? The Norths, generally, they haven't put anything too short in. Of course, with that short boundary on the eastern side, they'd be very worried. It's best to bowl his second over. Single off the first ball. It's interesting how he's used McFadden. McFadden, he bowled the first, fifth, and ninth over. It's interesting to see if that's his 3 of his overs. Yeah, bowling every 4th over.
Ben Davis coming off an 81 against Western Suburbs, a powerhouse of the Bulldogs at Graceville. So he knows how to score runs.
Best of just trying to get to that short boundary, but picked out the fielder. Pretty. Just a bit wide, that one there from Bester, but you don't have to get Gerrity and Davis. Don't have to get that ball much wide of the man out there to get a boundary. It's very, very close, as we've mentioned.
Gary doesn't want to run into Ben Davis, where he's about 3 pitches away before the non-strikers in. Yeah, Bester. He's got 20 wickets so far this season. Average of 22. He's best bowling 6 for 44. 6 for 44. No easy feat. For his career, he's bowling-wise, he's taken over 400 wickets in Premier, in all forms.
Once again, trying for the Yorker. Thinking about coming back for the second, but wisely not. 4th single this over. Since these two came together, what's that, 20 balls ago? No boundaries. Of course, we saw Hill hit 4-6 out as he departed for 32.
I think Benny Davis has probably only hit the 1 boundary or 2
maybe.
2
fours
for extra cover.
That's again.
Benny Davis. Well, I think I've seen that 5 times, that shot. He's just dangled the bat out there, and
I'm not quite sure what he's trying to achieve with it. It's
because third man is inside the circle, so he's going to guide it to him. It's going to be no good, but
if you're going to, I think he's actually, if he's going to go out there, he's got to go at it. I just don't see much future in dangling the bat out there.
Unless he's trying to drop it.
Well, between those two, just between the 2 players there and get it to the short boundary. Once again, just trying to turn that one on the onside, but managing to get an outside edge. Good over, only 5 runs off it.
Yeah,
that's the end of 10.
He almost gets a leading edge here, does Davis.
Yes, it was just trying to turn it on the onside, and I don't know what. Once again, I think just that jagged a little bit off the pitch. I think that one. We've seen Best to get a couple to move. That one came back into him. surprised Hill.
I did
Davis, sorry.
I did have a look at the. That's the end of the 10th over. I did have a look at the pitch, Brad. There are a couple of little green lines down the middle. I don't know whether they're the ones that are creating a little bit of sideways movement, but yeah, Davison. All sorts of trouble with Best. So the problem for O'Malley now is does he bring him on for another over while Davis is out there?
Well, certainly Bester seems to be. We haven't seen too much more movement. Of course, it's been this end. We've seen Jess jag it around in the, or move it around in the air, and Bester's just got a couple to move a little bit off the pitch from this. What do we decide it was? The old toilets end. I can't remember the Crosby Road end.
Road end,
and causing a little bit of problem. So a couple of good overs from Bester. Only said he got none for 8 off 2 overs. Nice shot this time. It's the outside off, although it's plugged as it's come down, so they'll only just pick up the 2.
Yeah, to walk on out there, it is spongy. It's sort of light underfoot.
Well, we've seen a couple sort of the balls that when they've landed, they've sort of nearly with a backspin, haven't they?
Yeah, the mower was out there this morning cutting. It's not like the Gabba where it seems to be hard and a lower grass where it bounces and then takes off. But anyway, Davis gets 2 to his tally. He's still out there and he needs to be at the end there, but Garrity needs to take hold of it.
And that's sick. Oh, hang on, he hasn't got hold of it. Would you believe it? A gift from Carroll, and he's instead of hitting it over the top of the tractor, he's just hit it straight up in the air as Davis, and he'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, Benny Davis frustrated. He's been trying to play some nice shots, and he's just been frustrated by Bester at the other end, and Carroll's given him his gift, as Brad Talon said, and he's just plonked it out. It's
well, I thought
50
it was
metres. Well, it should have
I'm right behind. We're right behind it. And when he hit it, I thought, oh, that's over the top of the tractor. But unfortunately, he just got underneath it. Look at that. Didn't know how far it hit. You see, just actually got it a bit high on the bat. And,
can't believe it.
Cannot believe it, Davis. I think it was Dawson again out there taking the catch.
He didn't have to move much either, did he?
Just underneath it. And hands up, fingers up. Lesson in catching.
So they lose their 3rd wicket, the students.
3 for 65. Dawson takes his 2nd catch. We saw, of course, he nearly pulled off an absolute screamer as well, Dawson. Yeah. So first one came to him very quickly. That one a little bit more of a gift there for Michael Dawson.
Well, Brad, is there a theory after 10 overs? Is it doubled? I remember the great Richie Benner had the...
I always said double after 12. So
okay, yep.
We'll see how we go. A bit like the 50 overs, double after 30. So
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
We'll see how I go with that. So, yeah, Davis, he just struggled a bit, didn't he? What, he end up with 27 off 32.
Brings the Irish international, Mr. Hamish Gardner. Scottish international, better be careful there.
Be careful, you don't get that in
Brexit and a half. The non-strikes in, but Garrity, he's been there a while now. He has to take over and start hitting. I wonder if it's just too big of a carrot out there, Brad.
Well,
isn't it too hard or?
Well, his eyes lit up, didn't he,
yeah.
Davis? And well, as I said, when he hit it, I thought, oh, well, that's gone. I said I was straight behind it, but unfortunately, just got it a little bit high on the bat and just ballooned up in the air. And obviously, the north side know Michael Dawson's he's out there to protect that boundary. A lot of he's not a tall man, so a lot of the times they might go over the top of it. But as I said, we've seen him take 2 good catches. First one, a ripper to remove Woodford for a duck, and as I said, that one just a little bit easier. And we saw him really take another screamer. Next ball just turned out on the onside to that man we were talking about, Dawson, for the single. Gardner off the mark.
Yeah, O'Malley had a first slip in there again for the new batsman, so there's nothing I can be critical at all about the field placings from O'Malley, the skipper. They've all been pinpoint. The catches have almost been taken, some screamers because of where he's placed those fieldsmen, and the throws have been good. One run out, as you mentioned earlier, in the technological technological. Oh, in the
Technological?
now
you've got me doing it.
he would have been given out, Doogie Hill. So their fielding has been superb. One misfield, I think, early in the piece.
He went for 4. It was one of Davis's boundaries.
That's his first ball he faced, I think.
Yeah, it was indeed.
And so they've end of the 11th.
2 for 24. Carroll had that expensive middle over, though he's picked up a couple of wickets. Carroll 2 for 24 off his 3 overs today.
And this afternoon's clash, Premier Grade Cricket T20 final between two of the powerhouses, the Bulldogs and the Diehards. Valleys versus Wests, live to you from 2 p.m. At the moment, University of Queensland looking to add some more silverware to their cabinet. Norths, obviously, a couple of years ago, winning first and second grade 2-day finals. The coach of Ken Healy.
McPherson to come back on.
And University coached by Peter Clark, who will be running around here somewhere. Also assistant coach for Cricket Australia.
Slashing it outside the off stump. No run for Gerrity. Now McPherson been the only slow bowler we've seen used. Bowled the second over of the innings for 7 runs.
I don't know how you can wear those compression shirty thingies. I'll just be sweating. I'll do wiper blades on.
Was that the replay or was that the same?
No, same shot, yeah. Yeah, Gerrity, tall man, trying to find space just behind backward point.
And that's gone straight back over the bowler's head for 6.
Well, that's another way of getting some runs, isn't it?
That's right. He's got the big levers.
Well, the students are happy underneath us, aren't they? They haven't had much to crow about for a while since Doogie Hill went to the sheds.
Yes, the big levers of Jack Gerrity here. Have a look at this whack.
Didn't even.
It's gone.
Person couldn't believe
Reasonable hit down the ground too.
Got every bit of that.
Pearson bowling around the wicket.
Well, the straight boundaries, Brad, wouldn't be too much shorter than, well, maybe a little bit shorter than they are on the western side, but still, you're right, it's a long way. Look at the size of Gerrity. He's just falls over, he hits it.
Tries it again, but beautiful shot. Well fielded out there. Oh, it's a little inelegant there from Jack Gerrity. He was thinking about going for the second and just slipped as he tried to take off and then come back. Oh, there you go. Oh, gee, lucky. That would have been a very
you don't want to get
unfortunate run out if that throw had been a little bit better. Gardner is facing his second ball and just pushes out. So just a 7 off the over, including that straight hit 6 from Gerrity.
He went around the wicket and wide of the wicket, then did.
Okay, so we can 12th over, 3 for 75. So
150, you reckon?
150. Well,
3 out.
You've got to take it. That's if there's 2 wickets. Can we do this? You can do all the prognostications of how many wickets there are, but they'd be looking still. I think they'd still certainly be looking up around the 140 mark, I would think, at this stage.
Harry Walker, Dylan DeRose is a big hitter as well, and then Wigington. And you can never underestimate what a tail ender can do with a bat. Because in T20 you don't have to be finesse, and the last thing you need is a defensive game, and that's exactly what fast bowlers don't have. As we see, Best has switched around to the city end now. He's waiting for him. Is
wide.
Gerrity, and he bowls wide. I sometimes can't work out why you would switch to the other end. I know the breeze is picking up a little bit from on your screen, top left to bottom right.
Yeah, northeasterly, is it?
Because he's doing nothing wrong from this end, Brad.
Yeah, it's interesting. As they said, we saw him move a couple off the pitch from this end, Bester.
Might have been his own request. Now it's better. Yeah, it's interesting. I've always wondered why bowlers want to change end. I know.
We'd only be what, eight runs off the 2 overs at this end.
Yeah.
At the sorry, we're at the northern end, the old toilets end.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know why Best. I thought they might leave him to the end there because Davis is gone. Anyway, Garrity on 14 off 15.
Oh, gee, that quick single, beautifully run. Good positive call from Gardner there, calling Garrity through.
Could be the fact that he's, because of his accuracy, Best just to pitch it outside that off stump because
Yeah, it's a long
boundary out there to the west, towards the Queensland Cricket headquarters. Formal rugby league ground, Brad.
Human
as you
oval.
mentioned, yeah. It's Best again. He's got a wide slip here for the new batsman in Gardner.
Front foot slip there for Gardner. It's a wide.
It's very hard. There's not a lot of grass around the pitch, around the batting area. So if you've got the short spikes on, you're probably going to.
Yeah, he just lost his front foot there. As he tried to slash at that one. How wide was it? Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
just-
back spikes aren't working.
yeah.
But look where his feet are facing, Brad. If you're a golfer, you know which way the ball's going to go.
Interesting, they're not. They have got that. They have got the slip in there still for Gardner. I must think there's still a little bit in this pitch.
I think they're actually working on the theory Best is bowling outside off stump. And Gardner's already had a couple of slashes outside off stump and bringing in that wide second slip.
Little run. Once again, we've only had, just having a look, since the end of the 7th over, we're into the 3rd. We've just had the one boundary, and that was the 6 from Garrity. So it's been good containing bowling here from Norths. Of course, University winning the toss and deciding to bat, but
Also want to be careful. They just run rate might be overrated. A lot of quick bowlers.
and that's where you don't want to be able to let the batsman hit them. That very, very short boundary. And once again, those big levers of Jack Garrity.
Sent the groundsman for a bit of a walk.
Just have a look at this one again. Just picking it up actually just a little bit outside off stump, but that didn't matter. The big levers. Crash.
That's what Garrity needs to do, doesn't he?
Moves to
Gardner's similar to Benny Davies. He's a very elegant player of the cricket ball, whereas Garrity, we just saw it then. He's also hit a straight 6 as well.
Oh, beautifully fielded. Great bit of fielding there from James McPherson.
The Vikings have been outstanding in the field. That's the end of the 13th.
Slightly better over there for University. What they end up picking up off that 10 off the over. Couple of wides. Sorry, 11 off the over. Couple of wides.
Well, they can do that. That'll take past the 150, but Gardner and Garrity come together to have a chat mid-pitch. As we see
I think at this stage, Gardner's just got to try and keep Garrity the strike, and see if he can hit a few over the boundary. McPherson continuing.
Yeah, well, it's strange that he's kept McPherson on because Garrity did put him back over his head. That one's beating the outside edge.
Once again, if you're hitting to the onside, it's a very long hit to hit a 6 out towards us. So
it's good keeping there from Snell. He couldn't see any of that, and all of a sudden it's in his gloves. That's a
good running again. At least these two are running. Gardner's very positive with his calls. Calling Garrity through there, even though went straight to the fieldsman.
See if Gardner gets a quick thing to bring Garrity back on.
Yeah,
he'll do so.
He just threw. Oh, they'll get overthrows, will they? Yeah, they'll come back for a second. hitting the stumps.
That's cruel, isn't it? Surely he's got to be a dead ball if it hits the stumps. How can you take a run after a good throw? Get it.
Ask,
Pretty hard to
ask
judge.
New Zealand about the World Cup final.
Well,
The bat,
no, it's
didn't
too close to
That
the
hit a-
Bledisloe Cup.
Well, that hit a bat, not a
Yeah.
wicket.
Too close to the Bledisloe Cup to start sledging the Kiwis just yet.
Ooh, out, is it? Yes,
Stumped.
stumps. Beautiful work. You talked about the beautiful work of Snell with the ball he couldn't see earlier in the over, and that was just really smart bit of wicket keeping there. Gardner advancing down the pitch, trying to get another run. But look at this, just boom, bang, straight off. No chance of getting back. Beautiful work from Snell and McPherson, keeping McPherson on.
Yeah, it worked.
Worked.
What do I
A
know?
treat. 4 for 89. Look at it again, just bang. Beautiful piece of work behind the stumps from Snell.
Foot in the air. Didn't quite get back. So Gardner on his way. And I'm not sure. He's obviously trying to get the quick single was Gardner, but at the end of the day, just hold his ground, let Garrity go. So Garrity, really, it's up to him now to push this run rate, as we see.
Four for 89.
Wigington coming in coming in to join Garrity. Just when they're starting to get away, the students, the Vikings strike, don't they?
Just having a look at we've seen Hill and Davis both get going. They'll be disappointed, to get to 32 and 27 and then get out. Just looking at the figures. McPherson there, just picking up the wicket. 1 for 17 off 2 balls left in his third over. Wigington, the new batsman, as you mentioned, John. Go for a couple. Yep.
Yeah, just pull that down leg side there, did McPherson, and easy start for Wigington, wasn't it? Just helped it behind square.
Best of covering a lot of ground out here on the leg side. Long boundary. Giving that one a fair bit of air, but new batsman Wigington just pushing it through for the single. Good over from McPherson. 6 off it and the wicket. 4 for 92.
Yeah, it's like I said, the students just starting to build a partnership, and then bang, get rid of Davis or get rid of Gardner. So they're starting to get a partnership. What was that partnership between those two? I probably would have been
24.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah.
A total of 92. So
Off only 13 deliveries too. Oh, sorry, 19 deliveries. So
Garrity probably a dozen of those from
get
2
a couple
shots.
of sixes in those. Yeah.
Taking guard on the middle stump is Wigington. And Bester with his final over, none for 19 from the southern end or the city end.
Yeah, none for 19. He's once again he's a bit of a peel for a while.
I don't know whether he had demons of Paul Woodford getting out, whether he decided not to go after that one, because it's a very similar field, and he's got, I think, your man there in McFadden at backward point, where he took a screamer to get rid of Paul Woodford. It wasn't a hard catch, but it was going like a bullet.
Bester moves in again. This time.
Bottom edge.
Yeah, that wasn't out of the middle of the bat. That one from Wigington picks up a single.
Oh, he's got the single. He brings Garrity on strike.
It's one of those ones that jars up.
Yeah, that's
jars up through your hands and make your teeth run.
Like you're hitting the old Oriental dome or disc.
Did not hit the middle at all. Once again, another
It's
wide that one. Yeah, it's interesting. It's he's obviously just pushing the boundaries Bester. It's the 4th wide of the innings. He's bowled 3 of them.
Look how long. This is how tall Garrity is. Look how wide that is, and he actually still had half a bat left.
Well, this is where they say, is it you know, it's a guide. When he's so big and he
Yeah.
can reach so far, is it a wide?
Exactly. He had
Interesting
half a
debate,
bat
that
left
one.
then.
He's about 8'3".
Jeez. There's another one. Yeah.
Bit of sledging. Go and stand over there.
Yeah. He wouldn't look out of place with Wilson in his hand, would he, Garrity? Basketball.
I'd like to actually know how tall he is. He's certainly up around the 2 metres, I would have thought.
He's tall. Snell. Keeper. Long way back here for Bester.
Another wide. It's an interesting interesting challenge,
Jeez,
this one going on at the moment.
That short boundary, he's got Bester spooked.
Well, he's obviously, you know, he's bowling to the field that
Yeah.
he's had set, and he's obviously bowling to instructions, Bester.
Well,
He bowled 2 wides his last over. That's his second wide, this one.
He's got a 6-3 field, and 2 of the men on the onside are on the rope. One at deep mid wicket, one at a wide mid on, and then finally he's inside the circle, so he needs to stay outside off.
This time.
That's the peel probably a little bit too high, that one.
Yeah, just straying onto the stumps there, Bester.
Yeah. Well,
well,
I think he
well, near the stumps, should I say, even if not onto them.
just a bit
Yeah,
too
just
high.
a bit high. Probably surprised Jerity, that one. He gets hold of it finally, but there's a fielder out there for that shot. Well, bowling to your field,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do. And that's what Bester's doing.
He's had previous LBW Garrity, you've definitely got to hit below the knee roll, haven't you? He's pants
Well,
it.
he's bowled
4 foot long.
seven balls in this over so far, a couple of wides. There was only one that snacked back that was the LBW appeal, but the other, the other balls in the over have been, right where the captain would have wanted it, quite honestly.
See what he can do with Wigginton.
Full toss this time, but once again, straight out to that man in the deep. Guy Rushton, sorry. And another single, so just that's 5 off the over with the 2 wides, but good bowling from Bester.
Bowling good. Said it before, O'Malley, the skipper, great job. Trying to find where he is in the field, O'Malley. Too far away from the action.
None for
Number 10.
None for 24, Bester, off his 4 overs. Except for that 1-6. Good spill. This is McPherson's last over, and that one's chipped over the outfield. Will it get to the boundary? Oh, great fielding out there. And restricts them to 2. Great work.
She's a dynamic in the field, and yeah, I was wondering, he's running back to his bowling mark. I was wondering whether they were getting a bit tight with the over
What's
rate.
going? Obviously, there's getting concerned about the over rate. McPherson certainly running through the overs as this one goes for single.
That should bring up the 100.
4 for 100 off 15.3 overs. 8.3 overs for the last 50. They've completed their first 50 in 7 overs, so they've actually slowed down as the innings progressed.
Yeah, the last thing that the Vikings need is some
This delicate
penalties in
little
a
shot
final.
there.
Yeah.
There's a delicate little shot from Jerity. Pick up a couple.
I wonder if Benny Davis and Shane Gardner will say to Garrity, how do you play that shot? Because I don't know how many times both those players tried to do that shot and almost found the gloves of Snell. And Garrity again keeps the strike, the big unit. First and 2 to go.
The single. We've only had the 2 boundaries since the end of since the midway through the 7th over. Sorry, the 8th over. So 7th over. So
Wow.
it's and they were the 2 6s from Jerity. So just and great bowling from McPherson. So what's that? Only 6 off the over.
Into his 4 overs.
Wow.
Skipper would be very happy with that from his slow bowler as they start a sprint between ends here. The Vikings. I see. I think it might be McFadden coming back on from the to relieve Bester. Finish his 4 overs.
You're none for 24, Bester. Of course, we've only seen the one slow bowler being used by North, and that's what's created the issues for them. McFadden, who's in? They'll try for 2 here.
Well,
they will.
Wigginton ran under gallop, and he's run him out.
He's going to keep going. He's not out again.
No,
Not out.
all right. I thought he was gone.
Once again, that was nearly exactly what we saw in the other run out that wasn't a run out, with the hesitation at the other end from Gerrity. Let's
So
have a look at
Wigginton,
this.
yeah, he took off like a hare.
Oh, he didn't hesitate too long, but I think he was home that time. Just the throw just a little bit high. Well run for 2.
Well, that's right. The one that got Doogie Hill was a direct throw, wasn't it?
Yeah, hit the stumps. Yeah, I think he's in that time, yeah. By the time the keeper had to bring it down, and there's a bit of a slash.
Yeah. Stand and deliver
Offside.
now.
And once again, they just can't get the ball to the boundary. Like I said, we've only had the 2 since the 3rd ball of the 7th over. We've had just the 2 boundaries, 2 sixes hit by Gerity. So
Oh, that's remarkable.
that's great work in the T20 final. Once again, straight to the fielder this time. No run.
Lovely shot there for Wigginton. Just late cut. Finds the fieldsman. O'Malley's got it on strings. He's like got the student's playbook. He's put everybody in the right spot.
Well, and you know, you can do that, and the bowlers have then got to bowl to them, and that's exactly what they've done. So far, the North's bowlers have bowled to their field just magnificently.
Yeah, while there's a lot of strength and power hitting in T20 cricket, if you play it smart, which is what O'Malley and his bowlers and fieldsmen have done, suffocate, do this part of the job right, and come out and bat well, I'll thank their fieldsmen for a win if they get over the line this afternoon.
Moves in again. And that's a full toss, but not getting a hold of it. Wigginton just was once again he was looking out for that short boundary, but got it high on the bat, which is how we saw Davis get out.
Oh,
Nearly exactly the same ball, about the same length.
it was a wide ball.
He
It
was
was
wide, wasn't it? Goodness gracious! Look where he is.
That's what I'm saying. It was a wide ball. The keeper almost ended up in the second crease wicket.
Nice ball. Just restricting the single. That's a good over. Only 5 off the over.
You said it before, Brad, about the wide full toss or wide Yorker, and it's very hard to get away, and that's exactly what Bester and McFadden have done. Just wide outside off some, testing the umpires, aiming for that blue dot that joins the batting crease, and it's very hard to get away. You can see the water boy is out there, and the water boys, neither of them had a drink, so I can guarantee there was a message.
Get on with how
Get
long
on
you've
with
got.
it. You got 3 overs.
When do they have to be finished by? 20 past, is it? Just trying to think, or half past?
Half past.
Half past. It should be
Yes, half past.
hour and a half. to
New
bowl.
bowler, Rushton. Well, I know what I'm going to do at the change of innings. That's change chairs. Sickness grief. It's either that or I'm hungry.
First over
Both.
for Rushton. Once again, another medium pacer. And it's a wide, not the start you want.
Yeah, I don't get that. There was one early that he didn't call. I know he stepped across, but anyway.
So Gerity 31 off 28. Hill was top scorer. He got 32 off 21 with 3 4s and 2 6s. He was running singles early, but then decided that wasn't a very good idea. Rushton moves, and that's gone straight up in the air. The fieldsman's there underneath it, and taken.
Your man,
They're finding him, aren't they?
if it's who I think it is.
Dawson again, is it? Indeed it is. Yeah. I thought it was. They're finding him in the field, Michael Dawson. That's his 3rd catch. Just once again, the long levers of Jarity trying to go for that 6. Just pulled up on the shot a little bit, and
I'm
once
not
again,
sure he went through with that shot.
no, he
Brad.
didn't. He pulled up on it, didn't
Yeah.
he? And Michael Dawson just checking there that he was inside the boundary. No, he was just trying to sort of lift it, wasn't he? I think he was more trying to place it over the fence rather than slog it, and unfortunately just picked out Michael Dawson, who takes his 3rd catch. 31 off 29 for Jarity. Once again, just falling short. Just the 2 6s from Jarity. And Rushton picks up a wicket with his first legal ball. Wigington is joined by Dylan DeRosa, but they crossed that catch, so single to Wigington. Yeah, they're just not getting going, are they? We see Guy Rushton. 2 balls, 2 legal balls, 1 for 2.
Let's write that down. Number 4, Dylan DeRosa, is the number missing off our least. Goes for a walk as Dylan DeRosa slaps it to extra cover for 1. He has certainly been told to tee off. They've only lost 5 wickets. Well, not 5, obviously, they're top order batsmen, but last thing you want is be 5 for 130 at the end of 20. You just want to tee
They
off.
just haven't been able to accelerate, have they? They've been trying. It's just been great bowling, that's right. It's just the bowlers have bowled to their field, and here's the little lap shot. That'll be 4.
I hate that shot.
You don't like that shot?
No, it's
dear.
just...
Shouldn't be allowed. Should be
No,
outlawed.
it's not nice. It's not fair. We bust our backs to get the ball up there, and you're just going to paddle over the top like
Like a face bowler there, mate. You're right.
Exactly. I've got trying to tell you how to cut. Not happy.
Interesting. That's the first 4 in over 11 overs. We had a couple of 6s in that time, but 3 6s. But
You watch in the first. That's been taught by Scott Henry, who's the CEO of the operations officer of University of Queensland. He brought that knucklehead shot to the club, and Paul Woodford.
here goes the slog here. Is there a fielder coming in? He's just trying to get underneath. A great catch.
Oh, there's a screamer of a catch in the deep.
Wow.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Nathan Carroll, take a bow.
Holy smokes. What have a look at that from the wide view to start with. That is an absolute screamer.
Wow.
comes-
Look, there he is. Whoop.
There you go.
Well, I thought it was going to be right. He was absolutely herring along Carroll, and then he realised he was running in the wrong direction. He wasn't running to where the ball was going to be, but did the swerve. Have a look at this. What a magnificent catch this is. Here he comes, realises it was just getting out of him, and that is an absolute... Nearly got the face plant
Yeah,
as
he's got
well.
the face plant. He's got some grass between his teeth, and he's not from Nimbin.
Wow. What a catch. Great work.
Well, we've said it
Nathan
all match,
Carroll.
haven't we, Brad, about the fielding, and it's been outstanding here from the Vikings, and none better than that one. That just epitomises what's been happening with the boys in blue. Terrific catch. And that'll lift the side. He's at a turning point. At the moment now, the students 6 for 115. Still a long way short of what will be a par total of 150 here at Allan Border Field. So, yeah, you can count yourself unlucky for a great catch
That
here.
was
But
a good catch. And what about Rushton? 2 wickets in his first over.
the first one was a wide.
Here he comes again. Is that third? It is!
There you go.
Well, caught behind, and it's all falling apart for the students.
Dylan DeRosa on his way.
Yeah, of course they crossed with that magnificent catch by Carroll, and Snell, who we saw take a neat stumping earlier. That one's like shelling piece for him, and University lose their 7th wicket. There it is. Boom.
Just a little edge. Didn't even look at the umpire. Dylan DeRosa. See ya.
Wow.
Well, I said they don't want to be, go to the sheds
So
after 20 overs.
I don't think the idea is then you get all out, I think.
No, sort of not quite. He's just catch again.
Well, there's
Caught behind.
that was the caught behind, but wow, what an over from Rushton. 3 from 7.
Can't help thinking he'll go past O'Malley and say, I should have come on earlier, mate. Anyway,
He's down the bottom. Guy Rushton. Over 3 for 7. A little bit of a windy woof this time. The wicket keeper batting. Harvey Walker, sorry.
3 for 7, Rushton. Tell me you're kidding. Belford comes to the crease with Harry Walker, the keeper. 2 fresh bats in the middle of Allan border. Well, Carroll fancy getting a third against the freshman. I might have to worry about the end there. 20 overs. Jeez.
Not a very elegant shot, but getting away with it.
Again. A wide ball. There's your man in the foreground there. Great catch.
Carroll.
Rushton 3 for. Another big unit, Belford.
Straight back down the pitch. Come back. No, I don't think there was 2 there.
Nope. Not the way they're fielding at the moment, the Vikings. Belford gets off the mark. Brings Harry Walker back on strike. Can bat Harry Walker.
7 for 117. 9 deliveries remaining. Comes Carroll again. Another single.
Yeah, well, best they might get to 140. Take some big hitting. And with that short boundary, that's a pretty good score.
Yeah, only got, what have we only got 6 balls remaining.
Yeah, pretty good score for the North, that is, to retain them.
Big swing and not going very far.
Back pad, but gets a single.
Just cannot get going at all at the moment, Uni. Just the 7 balls remaining. 7 for 119. Walker facing Carroll. Fuller delivery, but can't pierce the field. They're going to come back for second. This could be trouble. Missed the ball. The bowler Carroll, but I think they were probably back anyway. So just the 6 runs off the over. 7 for 1, 2. Oh, sorry, yeah, 7 for 1, 2, 1. 1 to go.
I'll tell you what. Have a look at the dive here from.
Spectacular.
It's outstanding.
Hat-trick ball. Guy Rushton.
I think there was a game, I'm not sure what it was, but a bowler had got 2 wickets to end the match in a row, and then the next match came along, they were saying it's a hat-trick ball, and I can remember seeing Peter Parker on social.
Get one here. Here's a real one, and no.
Right spot.
Well, they're coming back for a second again. Oh, another dive. Good running there from Walker. So he survives the hat-trick, does Belford. Walker's like a hare.
Yeah, Peter Parker certainly let them know on social media that you got it wrong, boys. But Porky knows the rules.
Rushton 3 for 9 off 1.1. 3 for 7 off his first over, which was the 18th of the innings. Holding it close. That's gone straight up in the air. Might land safely, will it? Oh no, the clear was getting underneath it. And another good catch, this time Barry Bester, the man.
It's all falling apart for the students, isn't it? They're looking at the overs left rather than the ball. Play what's in front of them. You can see a dejected Belford trudging off in the background there. This went high in the air, so much so that man, Mitch down there couldn't see it because he's actually slightly under cover. And it had gone that high. Not sure where it went.
3 wickets in 4 balls for Rushton.
Nice little catch.
Not a bad little spell, this one. 4 for 9.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Skip, why wasn't I allowed to have 4 overs?
Exactly.
I'm only allowed 2.
There you can see, just still not an easy catch. He takes it.
Yeah, it was in the air a long time because I thought it when it went up, I thought it might fall between all those fields, but it was just that it was in the air for so long. Rushton again. Dawson underneath it. Got it. Wow. Talk about falling in a heap.
Oh, I'm trying to catch up here. Who's out now? It's ridiculous.
It was crossed. It was Walker. Just bang, trying to lift that one over the out to the short boundary, but you're not going to get past Dawson. Yes, there it is, just in the outfield. Dawson up round to the right there a little bit, just parked himself underneath it, and an easy catch. I think it was Dawson. Might not have been. Have to check that one.
Well, final over.
Another,
Sahar out.
another hat trick. Another hat trick ball. This time to Budden. Survives the hat trick. A single.
So
It was actually O'Malley, sorry, who took that catch from Walker.
There's a batting card for you. Rushton. With a smile on his face. He's walking back like a smiling assassin. 5 for 10.
Pretty good, pretty useful bowling.
Haven't finished yet.
Oh, trying for another run out, but they're managing to get back for 2.
I had to get the wheels on. So 1 ball remaining in the innings. 9 for 126.
Well, they didn't end up 5 down.
Yeah. Rushton, can he get his 6th wicket? It's every chance he can, because I'm sure Sahar's going to go long.
Here he goes. Oh, nice shot. Just sneaking it round the corner. Try to come back for a second, and they will. So 5 for 14. Rushton's end up with for his 2 overs. And the chase will be 129 for North. 9 for 128. UQ have ended up, and I think that's probably 20 runs short.
Yep, more than likely. Well, it got off to a bad start there for the University of Queensland. They're pugnacious and big hitting Paulie Woodford out in the 3rd ball, finding backward point and a good catch there. Then a bit of a revival between Davis and Garrity, I think, Brad. Pretty good partnership. Was probably one. Davis and Hill. Some craziness between the wickets, between both those two running between wickets, and then it was decided in a mid-pitch conference that Doogie Hill's best form of defence was attack, and he went large. And when he fell, it all pretty much fell apart then after Garrity got out a short time later. Not a lot of boundaries in the final 12 overs. Brad, as he mentioned, I think the first was 1 boundary.
Well,
8 overs.
After the end of the 7th over, there was 1 4 and 2 6s. So
the Vikings did a great job in the field up against the experienced University of Queensland. 9 for 128 is the total there for University of Queensland. They won the toss. They decided to bat first. Had they got enough? Well, we'll let you know. We'll be back in about 8 minutes' time for the second innings as the Vikings put the pads on and the students pick up the ball. Back shortly. Well, the sun's come out, and so have the students. They're in the field. They have to defend a total of 129, and the Vikings finishing second on lattice, losing the toss, and University decided to bat first. Brad telling myself, John Devine, have they got enough, Brad? 130 is the total required.
I can't think that's enough, unfortunately. They started poorly, lost a wicket after 3 balls, and they collapsed at the end. We saw Guy Rushton pick up 4 wickets in 5 balls. In his last 2 overs. Only got the 2 overs. Rushton ended up with 5 for 14. Was on a hat trick twice. As I said, 4 wickets in 5 balls. And I just can't. I think they're. Well, I thought probably 150 by the looks. But the outfield is fairly slow. So we'll just see how they're able to defend this. And, first ball. It's McPherson facing, and he just dabs it down. Backward of square for a single. Bowled well to McPherson. The only spin bowler used by North. He got 1 for 26 off his 4 overs. And he's joined out there in the middle by Michael Dawson, who took 3 catches.
Yeah, they were dynamic in the field, weren't they? Belford is the bowler with the top knot. Got a little bit of swing off that first ball, the Belford, and we saw that earlier with Jess. The second over from the northern end. Belford from the southern end, but getting a little bit of swing here, but just a little in swing to the right-hander. See how he goes with the left hand of Dawson. Got a whippy action as Belford, and I'll tell you what, the hair looks absolutely magnificent. Look at how nicely that's done. I don't know whether it's got a net over the top of it as well, like a ballerina.
I have that trouble. Deciding what to put in my hair. That's right. You just reminder, they're on the far eastern pitch here at Allan Board Field. Very short boundary for Dawson out that way that he just played that shot. But there's a fieldsman down there as he opens his account. Both batsmen on 1 after 3 balls. So it's only about, 50 metres, or perhaps even a touch less out to the... on the
17
onside at the moment,
metres.
the right-hander.
Yeah.
You can see that picture you're seeing at the moment. I think that sort of foreshortens it even a little bit more. But you can see on the right-hand side of your picture there, a lot of open spaces, but very tight on the eastern side of Allan Border Field. The leg side for McPherson as he faces. And he hits out that way.
Yeah, from the circle to the boundary is 17 metres. I actually stepped it out. Actually, it's probably, I got a bit gassed towards the last few metres. It might actually be a little bit further, but yeah, it's short. I think it's probably, it'll only just be the minimum, I think, for the women's game of 59. It might just be a little bit shorter than that on that east side, but nonetheless, 2 left-handers.
Nice little shot there, just leaning on that one, Dawson. Running out towards the boundary, they'll pull it up out there. A bit of teamwork out there, but Dawson will come back for 3.
It's the first 3 of the match, I think, Brad.
It is indeed. Had a few 2s in the first innings, but no 3s. And yeah, quite incredible. The last 13 overs of the university innings, there was only 3 boundaries, 1 4 and 2 6s. So they just, it was great. It was actually a great bowling performance by North. They bowled to their field, and eventually the pressure took a toll, and they took the wickets at the end. There's a run off the last ball of the over.
Yeah, Doogie Hill having a similar field to O'Malley with a whitish second slip, the end of the first over, just a 6 off it.
And they don't have to do much more than that,
No.
do they? The North side, they're only chasing just over 6 and over. And
Harry Walker's called for the helmet, which suggests it's going to be spin.
Spin.
It will be Doogie Hill from the northern end.
interesting. Of course,
Skipper.
we only saw the 4 overs of spin from North, and McPherson, they had to hurry at the end to go. I think they might have gone a little bit over with their time too, but decided not to be penalised, and with the 9 wickets falling. But they used virtually all pace except for those 4 overs from McPherson.
Yeah, well, they've got Doogie Hill, and the man who was talking to him just then, Ben Davis, who's gone into slip with the white floppy. He's also another slow bowler. He will probably have a trundle at some point. Doogie Hill, he's canny way of getting wickets. They're almost a nude ball, but he does have lovely flight sometimes, as Doogie Hill. Also the pin-up boy around second grade dressing room. He's going to bowl right arm around the wicket from the northern end.
In the gap in the field there, Dawson. Thought they might push for 3. They only settled for the 2. But Hill, he certainly had when he was batting, there was heart in mouth stuff with his running. His was quite an interesting display of running from Hill. Decided in the end that he ended up hitting 3 4s and 2 6s, Hill, after he decided that running wasn't his cup of tea. I think 21 of his last 22 came from boundaries. He ended up making top scoring, actually, Hill with 32 off 21 deliveries. Jerry with 31, and Davis with 27. But, they all got a start but didn't go on with it either, so only setting the 1-2-8. It's well fielded, and he's followed through then there from Hill.
Uh-oh. He
He's,
might have
what do you think? He's gone the fetlock. He's okay. He survived.
funny feeling he might have landed somewhere else. Yep, sucking the big ones. But a good comeback here. 2 runs on the first ball from Doogie Hill. Now
They're just going to have to be right on in the field, aren't they, University? We saw some great catches from some great catching in the first innings from the North side.
Hill, the skipper, coming back. Just a 2 so far. Kiss of death. This could be none for 8.
No, none better than a couple of really good outfield catches. There's 5 dot balls in a row.
Yeah, just found
Hill.
Joel Wigginton 3 times in that over at square at point, and the skipper couldn't have asked anything more of himself, being the skipper. He's going out, but he has. I think he landed on. I think he actually
Winded himself, didn't he?
Yeah, meat and veg.
He had the straight down on the. We'll say winded, mate. We'll say winded. Come
Winded
on.
Belford is.
Did you change your chair in the?
I didn't
half-time?
actually. I got some WD-40 out.
Did you? Squeaking a little bit there in that first innings.
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
Yeah. I shall do it now between the balls.
Sound like you're on the Titanic.
It is Captain Ahab. Maybe Dick. Belford been replaced at the. No, he's still got the ball. Almost gets an edge through to the gloves of Harry Walker. Going for the slash, McPherson.
Swing and a miss against Belford.
Yeah, different ploy here from Doogie Hill. O'Malley, I think he bowled 6 different bowlers in the power play, Brad. I think each bowler had 1 over each.
Well, McFadden might end up having 2, I think. So,
But,
I know Jesse McFadden ended up with 2 each, but yeah, for the first 4 overs he used different bowlers. Nice shot. That'll go to the boundary. Running away. One square for McPherson. Well, you'd have to think that University have got to bowl north out, haven't they? They're not going to defend 128, 129 to win. So he's got to be aggressive. He's got to slip in.
Yeah, you're right. Hill has to do an O'Malley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has to have his field just right, and the bowlers to bowl to that field. And that's
Hill.
Big appeal from everybody here at Square. Nowhere near behind the bowler, but anyway, we'll have a bit of a look, see what they thought was out.
It might have been a little bit high side on, but just have a look at it again. Gee, it was probably pretty adjacent. It wasn't as high as I thought. Once again, that shot that's got him a 4 off the second ball of the over. Repeats the dose. Does McPherson.
Yeah, Belford just wide and too full outside off stump. A late cut there by McPherson. Just finds the gap through backward point. 4 runs. This is all adding up. 16 gone already off the total. Another 113 required. Belford.
14 off 10 balls from Belford.
Pitch it up.
He's just got to pitch out. We saw absolutely no short length bowling from North. It was a bit of a swing, but yeah, it's they just bowled. They bowled full. They bowled outside the off stump. Particularly, it was at best.
Yes.
Watching him bowl was amazing. I think he bowled 4 or 5 wides, 4 wides. I think, but he in that every ball was testing the umpire as to whether it was a wide outside, they were full and wide outside off stump. 4 overs of it. It was quite incredible.
Nothing you can do with it. Belford again, last ball of his second over.
And straight to the fieldsman.
The students are happy downstairs. Belford's happy. Hill's happy. And unfortunately, McPherson, well, after he just gave it straight down and didn't have to move. I think when Saha, the fieldsman.
Just hit it straight to him. Catching practice. Let's have a look at this again. Played a couple of late cuts. This time he just, that was a...
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that.
He'll have a look at that one in the replay. So no, that's not how to play that ball. And well, that's what they need. The students, they need to take wickets, and they've got their first off the last ball of the third over.
Getting the students.
Getting the send off.
So Belford gets 1 for 14. Expensive. He's made the breakthrough. Hill will continue from the northern end as the new batsman comes to the crease. And you would have to think that while it's a little bit similar, that they lose a wicket early. They've got a lot more runs on the board at the moment of the Vikings, and they'll welcome Gruel to the crease. He's at the non-strikers end.
Belford 1 for 14 off his 2 overs.
And you build pressure at the other end too, Brad. We talk about batsmen bowling in partnership, batsmen playing in partnerships. Full toss there from Doogie Hill. Single off that. But Hill put the screws on, didn't he, at this end?
Yep.
Not saying it led to the wicket of McPherson, but he built pressure everywhere. It's Hill.
Cool to face his first ball.
See how he goes. Left-hander. They've got left-handers everywhere here, the Vikings. Straight back to the bowler. Davies at first slip. Harry Walker's the wicket keeper. Dawson, the non-strikers in. Did a great job in the field. Hill waddles in. 4 runs.
That's the problem they've got. You talk about on that that short boundary. Fieldsman out there probably only had to move 8 metres to his left, but you can't bowl them like this. That's too short, and you can see the fieldsman there. He was just getting going. He didn't have to. He was only 4 or 5 paces from the ball, and it was into the fence before he knew it. Single off the next ball.
Yeah. If Hill was just, Hill would have been filthy. If somebody else was a skipper, they would have said, what was that? Yeah. He's the captain. He will adjust.
You had a catch? I think it was, wasn't it?
Half-hearted. We'll have a, see if we can quickly sneak that in before he bowls the next one.
Just bounced short. Well fielded.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Right.
Dot off the last ball. I was well fielded off his own bowling there by Hill. Dot ball, the last ball of the over, so none for 8 off his 2 overs.
Yeah, boundary in the middle of that with that rank long hop was punished. See the groundsman pounding down that end, so them Belford obviously not happy with something that's happening with his foot marks. We saw trying to remember, might have been it was Webb Harris. They had troubles with the front foot. They had to ring out the pounder, or what do they call it? I'm sure there's a technical term for it. Probably
the pounder, that'll do.
Crease hole eliminator.
Bit of rain starting to come over. We might have to get the have we got the Duckworth-Lewis calculator out?
I've got it on the left. It's just hieroglyphics to me. I've got a clue. Look at that. You reckon you work that out?
Oh, you've bought it. Excellent.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, but I don't know what it means. It's like the...
Yeah, no, I'm a statistician, mate. You can give me the...
I'll give you that.
Oh, look at that. That's easy. I've got more... I like that. I'm not watching the cricket. I'm just going to check that out for the rest of the day now.
It's like an IBM mashup. Belford from the southern end again, and continuing Dawson.
Slow ball. Dawson didn't know whether they did it for 4 or 6. It was a good slower ball there.
I wonder whether that's... he's having trouble with that. They did a bit of work there. He actually bowled that ball a long way behind.
He did, didn't he? That was the old,
crease,
bowled it from the back of the crease. Dawson had to stop on his shot and then could only just paddle it round the corner. It'll be a wide.
Belford into his 3rd over. I don't know whether he got another over because he got a wicket off that last ball or not, but they have a game plan, no doubt. The breeze hasn't improved much since the start of play. And as Brad mentioned, it's very ominous towards the top left of your screen at the moment, towards
24's past score at the moment, incidentally.
Not sure what the...
It was 5 overs required for a match, so they'll get through that.
Yeah, it's not like we're allowed to sit here all day. This one has to finish by 1:30.
No, of course, because we've got the grade final coming up. Appeal for LBW looked like it was going down the leg side. That'll be a leg bye. First leg bye of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. This is worth a shout. It might have actually pitched the outside leg. Which obviously you can't do that.
Yeah, it was always down the leg side, I think. I think it pitched outside leg and was missing leg stump.
So there is some cloud, but we'll just check the groundsmen are sitting down there. They're playing Candy Crush and everything, so they're not in any hurry to come out.
They're not too concerned? Okay, that's fine. Thanks, mate.
Not like the Gabba where they seem to know before anybody else when it's going to rain. Even
they've
God himself.
That's right, they've got that supercomputer there.
Called the wet finger.
Nice shot there from Gruel.
Yeah.
Picked that one up nicely. No fielder out there was going to get that. That's the extreme. That's the long boundary side, but just beautifully placing it there. It was a long run round for the fielder out there, and as soon as he collected that one, he knew it was 4.
Yeah, it was on middle stump, but he walked across his crease and turned that up
Belford just straying. He's got to be outside off stump and fuller. This bowling short just is not going to work. That's not the place to bowl it either. It'll be 4 or 6, I think it was. Yep, it's gone over the top for a maximum. Belford 25 off his 3 overs, got the wicket, but when you're only defending 128, that's not what you want to see.
No. And that's what was the difference between the students and the Vikings. They pitched it up wide outside off something. He was just able to get underneath this one, wasn't he? Gruel, and just see you later, Pill. So Doogie Hill, he's going to bowl again. Not sure whether that was the plan for him to bowl a third one. I know he comes on at the end. Ben Davis is at second. Ben Davis, as you can see, is wondering, should I be here? Yeah, he's going to pull him out.
So the last
There's a waste there.
over of the power play, 1 for 35, 94 required from 90 balls. 9 wickets in hand. Person moves in, nice ball. First up.
Yeah, if you can. I'm surprised if Ben Davis doesn't replace him at the northern end, Crosby Park end.
Gruel off to a great start, 15 off 5, but Dawson facing, he comes down the wicket and gets it on the full.
Nothing gets past those hands. Very talented cricketer. I saw him take a screamer at Webb Harris underneath the bucket hat, mind you, at mid-on. It was a beauty. Probably the best.
It was out if it had hit. But, they get through. Wington, I think it was, having a ping. And that was well and truly, he was gone. Well and truly short. Down the pitch and see you later. Oh, just inside the boundary. So Gruel moves to 19 off 6. He's not hanging around, taking advantage of the power play.
Yeah, Doogie Hill didn't even bother to turn around. He was straight back over his head. Knew where it was going. No man back there. Batsman didn't move. 4 to the total.
3 4s and a 6 in the 6 balls he's faced from Gruel. Move it again, and this time he just deciding not to go for the quick single this time.
Actually, Gruel, just before he bowled that ball, I won't worry about going to the replay because Doogie Hill's trying to get through his own. He slid his hands right to the top of the bat handle then, and I thought he was just going to let loose. He might do that yet. Here he goes. Finds just point.
A couple of dot balls. That's better. That'll be the end of the over. 5 runs off it. Hill done for 14 off his 3 overs, and that's the end of the power play. 1 for 40.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you got the similar?
1 for 36.
There you go. Wasn't too far away.
University were, of course, they lost a wicket after 3 balls, but 1 for 36 at the end of their power play. 1 for 40. So just a little bit ahead, of course, North, but at University, the longer the innings went for Uni, the worse they got.
Yeah.
So
it's terrible back 10. Ben Davis has come on from the southern end, power play over, as you can see from the umpire. He replaces Belford. We bowl into Dawson, who's, well, he's just going to stay there and let Gruel do all the damage. You can, there you go, there's the boys in the, oops.
It's been quite noticeable, the difference in bowling. As we said, North's bowled really full right through the innings. It'll be wide. No, got away with it. But Belford in particular was just, I just thought he bowled a bit short.
I saw Ben Davis bowled at Webb Harris, and by his own admission it was rubbish. But he just comes back, this guy. It's a good ball. That's got some bounce there too.
Yeah.
And I know when he gets dropped to second grade, normally a fixture in first grade, he comes back to second grade, he doesn't kick rocks. Makes his way back into the first side pretty quick.
Obviously the races, they've got the races on downstairs or something, the students, filling the time between balls.
Oh, might actually be Harold Parker. Ooh, that's almost gone onto the stumps.
No, it's an over. We've got there's racing across the road at Albion Park.
Trots.
First trot, first race of the Red Hots. Has it started yet?
Now, have a look how
We
close
can't
this
declare the
goes.
winner. Well, came back, he's just looking at it. He was going to try and swat it with his bat. Too
I
late.
think that hit the stumps.
Just hit the stumps and stopped, did it?
Sweet to backward point.
That's for single. We'll just have a look at that again, did it?
I'll try this other angle.
Well, gee, Really got it all happening there, mate. Let's have a look at this.
I thought it hit the stumps because it's sort of deviated. Get to it. Hopefully it's not working. There.
No, might just been out. Just it was close. All right,
He's still there.
still there.
Have a look at the book, as they say.
4 off the over so far from Davis.
Go for a talk to Doogie Hill, his skipper. Doogie Hill's. So they've got to hit against the spin the left-hander to that short boundary. Does that. Finds Dylan DeRosa in the deep. Just a single. So 5 runs off the over, which is good. They can build a bit of pressure here on the Vikings to increase that run rate.
Yeah, 6.46, still pretty comfortable
Yeah.
at the moment. The required rate. 1 for 5 off Davis's first over.
Dylan DeRosa to come in
Rosa
from
to bowl from the Crosby Park end.
spoke to Dylan this morning. I said, he still bowling around the 140 mark. He said, I've got a couple of bruises from batting yesterday, so he's obviously given me his insurance that if he doesn't reach 140, that's why.
Yeah.
But he's a very quick bowler. 2 or 3 years ago, Dylan was in the 3rd and 4th grade, but he's worked hard. He's told me off season he's done a lot of running, so he's very fit. He's starting to take his cricket very seriously. Well, he needs to produce here for the students. The partnership needs to be broken, Brad, which is a pretty handy one at the moment, probably around the 30 mark.
He 1 for 45 at the moment. At the same time, Uni were 2 for 49. So this partnership up to 31. Mr. Rosa moves in. Slash outside the off stump from Dawson.
You've got to throw something at that, haven't you? You can't just shoulder arms.
Yeah, that is.
It's not in the book of T20 cricket.
Once again, we've certainly seen university bowlers bowl a lot shorter than what Norths did. Got a couple of. There you go. Interesting shot. Picks up the single.
It's glued together in the manual of the French Cup.
He had to go a long way to make that a French Cup.
Yeah.
Way outside off stump.
See, I could wear
inside edge off the bottom, inside edge off the head, bottom of the bat.
I could wear a French Cup, but the ramp is just.
Don't like the wrist.
Take the bat off here, turn you into a popsicle. Don't like it at all. Could illegal, of course.
Again, absolutely, and big
Wow.
swing for this one, and that one's heading out into the second field, practice field over there by some distance. That one. Teams warming up over there for the top grade final. We'll field that one. That went a long way. That one from Gruel. Whack. Get hold of that. A few people over there watching it disappear into the distance.
Look, stand, deliver. Dylan has a look and see you later.
3 4s and 2 6s so far from Gruel. 26 off 11. And this one hit hard, but there's a fieldsman out there. Just be a single. And current rate, run rate 6.91. That'll get them home. We said chasing 129 to win. 6 brought up the 50 as well off 8.2 overs.
DeRosa needs a wicket here. Better ball there. He bowled a little bit wide of the crease than the DeRosa and angled it in. Just tempting fate considering the shortness of the boundary to that onside. Left-handers I don't know whether all of them normally bat in this batting order, Brad, but they seem to send the left-handers out to bring in that short boundary, perhaps. Better ball here from DeRosa. A full ball outside off stump. Again, and that doesn't get them any runs. It's the end of the over. DeRosa, go back and think about that at fine leg. 75 from 72. As you said, Brad, it's not panic stations by any means for the Vikings, the students. Well, they have to come up with something.
Yeah, it's...
Well, they've got rid of Ben Davis straight away. Rid of the lid. It's going to be the...
Interestingly, the 50 for the University came up in 7.2 overs, for North in 7.3.
Wow. A couple of big hits. That's when Doogie took off, I think. So I think you find a bowling change in Budden.
Budden's going to come on.
Budden as a bowler, not as a batsman.
It's interesting to see Gruel 27 off 12, Dawson 15 off 27. So Dawson obviously playing the sheet anchor role.
Yeah, I think that's what Gardner and Davis should have done. Played that to stay there. I know we mentioned how Davis is trying to get on with it because you would have seen that he wasn't getting too many runs, but he's just had that one guy at one end.
You're going to come back for two here. Good running. Gruel there running to the danger end. Called quickly.
Students are rocking the head. They look at Mr. Buddens. That's a lovely bit of sculpting of the salad. It's fantastic.
What's that called? Is that a
I don't know. A mistake.
comb over?
Comb over. I'll leave it at that. Godfrey's.
Yeah. Short of the field of that one. A very interesting action, Budden, hasn't he? Wouldn't call it a fluid action. A bit stuttery as he comes in and gets a long way back into his action. Looks like the rain's just gone away around to the southeast side of the ground, so no threat at the moment. He seems to be going up and that's out, is it? Big appeal.
Wow, Harry Walker's gone charging towards Budden, about to give him a mother-son hug. And
very confident.
The umpire didn't see.
Dawson saying I didn't get anywhere near it. Let's have a look at this, see if we can see anything. Probably off the hip, was it? It's always hard to see whether it actually hit the...
His shirt, hey?
Yeah, I think that might have been it. It's always hard to see. Obviously, they thought the University players thought he got the bottom edge of the bat to it, but might have just come off the shirt. Always hard to see that one unless we've got Snicko and 47 cameras.
That's it. Everybody came for a look.
Fuller delivery from Budden this time. Dawson just pushes it back down the ground for a single.
Taking on the ferocious arm of Paulie Woodford there in the deep. Normally a keeper, Paul Woodford, when Harry Walker is not in this side.
72 required from 68.
Diggy Hill, the skipper there on screen.
And Gruel has been 3 4s and 2 6s so far from Gruel. See if he has a swing at Budden, a very long onside boundary.
They need to get rid of him, students.
Full toss, and that'll be 4.
Doogie Hill, you can see him just in the foreground, just tilting his head to the sideline saying, what? He's having a bit of a chat to Budden now. Sometimes as a fast bowler, you see you get hit to the fence, you don't need to be told anything.
No, I know what he did there. Yeah, look at just trying to pitch that one, get it that wide one outside off stump and full, but just over pitching a little, and Gruel said thank you very much. 31 off 13. Doesn't need a second invitation to hit a boundary at the moment.
That's right, Brad. Spot on. They don't need to do anything crazy at the moment.
Slower delivery. Bowled it went out of the back of his hand.
Yeah, they don't have to. They don't have to worry about pressure. Students at the moment just let the foot off the throat. The score lines probably are still a little bit similar, but I think Hill probably was dismissed not far from this part of the
2 for
same time this
58.
morning. There you go.
The
That's where he fell.
students were at the same time. There was 1 for 62.
Well, Gary did hit a couple of sixes. It probably wasn't.
Yeah,
That was
in
about
the-
it, though, wasn't
the
it?
12th and 13th over. They got to 3 for 86.
So what was
But then
it? So there was 3 boundaries after.
So
the
between
8.
the end of the 7th over,
Oh, okay. Yep.
or after the end of the 7th over, there was 1 4 and 2 sixes from University in the next 13 overs. So
We've-
Jerry hit those 2 sixes, and there was just the 1 boundary after that.
We've nearly had that, haven't we, now already? Sahar's to come on from the northern end, the Crosby Park end, and the big unit. He's a big man. Jeez. I'm pretty sure when I was there, I mean, I'm a tall man, Brad. But, geez, they just seem to roll out big humans, this generation. We see it in the footy all the time. They're just mountains.
So I think Saha took the catch early on to get rid of
Yeah,
McPherson.
mid-wicket. Sorry, mid-off. He needs to take some wickets. He's going to come in from the right arm.
Around the wicket.
Yeah.
Is that his normal?
Yeah, he does it every ball.
He does it every ball.
No, he's...
I haven't seen him bowl
It's-
before. Is that no?
Yeah.
But judging now by my 100% of seeing him bowl, he falls over after he delivers.
Every ball you've seen him bowl, he falls over.
over.
It's not the first time we've seen players lose their footing at this end.
Yeah. Yep. This time he gets the treatment.
That's good.
Maybe he should fall. He should fall over.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just been absolutely murdered.
Gruel. That's his 3rd 6. 4 fours to go with that. 38 off 16. Comes in. Just wonder, once you've bowled a ball and fallen over, do you feel a bit uncertain?
You have
you
looked,
know?
he's
You're
looking
thinking,
right at where he's supposed to put his
there's
foot,
a-
not the ball.
there's a fieldsman out here. Will he get to it? I can't see because it's gone under the shed. Still can't see. We'll have to check with the umpire who's signalling a 4. So that's gone to the boundary as well. There's the 6. So now I can say with certainty that Saha either falls over or gets hit for boundaries.
Well, he's-
so I'm starting to form a broader opinion.
Put it this way, he hasn't been, no runs have been hit off him.
Can we get a
while he
wicket now
falls
as
over.
well? There you go. It's another smash. Be good fielding. Oh, yes, fantastic fielding. That was a great effort. They had to have 2 goes of it, Belford. Beautifully done.
He had to, didn't it? The second time he was going to go over the fence as well, so he's
Wow.
thrown the big right hand out. It looks a lot like big Jack Carty from first grade.
Jeez, he did. That was a great fielding effort.
Well, he's filthy now, Saha. 12 off 4, and he's just. We should just take his time before starting to bowl.
Oh, Gruel, will be gone. That's his 50. 19 deliveries for Gruel to reach 50. Wow. 5 fours, 4 sixes, 50 off 19 for Gruel.
Yeah, Saha didn't take his time. He just rolled in. He just wants this over done quick as possible. Get me out of here. That's just deserved every bit of it.
Good, none for 18 off 5 deliveries. 50 off 19 for Gruel.
He's in a hurry to get there. Just take your time, young man. Slower ball.
Trying to run himself out now.
Well, at the moment, that's the only way the students are going to get a wicket because the bowling just hasn't been up to the money at the moment.
19 off the over.
Just to say Saha probably won't get another trundle. He's pointing for somebody to have a crack at this northern end.
What a knock from Gruel.
50 off 19.
Eddie Gruel, 50 off 19.
Davis back into the attack from the southern end, replacing Budden. Doogie Hill under
5 fours and 4 sixes from Gruel.
under pressure to slow this rampage. Gruel. Dawson just hanging on the other end. Don't be surprised he looks for a quick single. As you said, Brad, after 10 overs, 81 gone.
Halfway through.
He doesn't have to carry on like that anymore, Gruel, but Try and stop him.
Students were 2 for 63, now 1 for 81. All sorts of trouble here. 48 from 60 balls with 9 wickets in hand. That's a stroll in the park normally.
And North's finish on top of the ladder in the second grade T20 competition.
Oh, gone. Oh, gee, got back.
Oh!
Ran down the pitch. It was a very slow delivery, that one from Davis. Sorry,
Yeah, Davis, yeah.
Davis it is, yeah.
Nearly bowled him.
Nearly played the big swing. He did well to get back, but he did continue through Gruel and slam the bat back down. It's coming our way, this one.
Doogie Hill.
Just falling short, that one.
Let me do use
No, it was
Dylan DeRosa.
Dylan DeRosa. He actually, if he'd moved straight forward, I think he had DeRosa. He thought it was going to go further, so he actually backpedaled there. So
he was going
left. He was going the other way.
Yeah.
He was not running in the direction of the ball. Because it was just a bit of a top edge and wasn't running at the ball. He would have taken that if he hadn't moved. Actually, it probably would have come straight to where he was standing. But he ran away from where he was standing, and unfortunately the ball came to where he had been.
And that they're the things that the luck they had.
Sums up
not
the
luck,
day, doesn't
North,
it?
Yeah, pretty much. North everything. Wherever O'Malley put a man, that's where the ball went. It's deep.
You see that out? That's just over the boundary, 6 more. It's a long boundary out there. That's the 5th maximum for Gruel. He's scored 50 in boundaries, Gruel. 5 fours, 5 sixes. 58 off 23.
And that's a long boundary out there,
Yeah,
Brad.
that's
massive.
That's as far as you can get away on a wicket here.
Yep.
The boundary. This time stepping back. Just punching this one out for a single.
There's only one ball left in the over for Davis.
It was interesting, Dawson. 19 off 32, Dawson. That's playing the sheet anchor role, isn't it? Because when you've got someone 59 off 24 at the other end, that means they've got 78 off 56 between them. Appeal. Not out.
Moved again.
9 off the over.
See if Benny Davis, whether it pitched outside leg.
Coming in. It's hard to see. Well, certainly wasn't pitching outside leg.
No, it's worth a shout. Be perfectly honest, I don't think the students want to get him out. I'm happy for him to stay there. It's Gruel's the man who's causing the carnage. It's Doogie Hill coming back into the attack. I think he's only got 1 over left. It's Doogie Hill, he had none for 14. He needs a breakthrough, sacrificing his final over to try and break these guys.
You're up to 39 off 54 balls. Not much good leaving yourself much wrong at the same period. At the same time, Uni were 3 for 68. So
how's that partnership looking, Brad?
yeah, it's what are we up to now? 1 for 14. So that's 76. The partnership now.
Wow, needs to be broken.
Oh, that's a full banger, and that's got the
See ya.
treatment.
No, it's just landed now.
Still going.
It's like the QF 173 from Launceston just landed.
They're ducking over it to the airport.
Took forever to land. That's gone
Goodness
high.
Boom, bang. See you later.
Plop.
65 off 25.
Yeah, try and stop him, mate. So Doogie Hill, once fairly impressive figures.
Came back with tram tickets on or whatever that was. Here we go again. Oh, a bit of an anticlimax, that delivery.
Gets the single.
Hmm?
Didn't take the one.
No. Well, Dawson came down and went back. He got one himself. That doesn't count, but
No, that's
he got 2 actually. And this, oh goodness gracious, dear. Oh, there's a helicopter. The helicopter just
got
flew
hit.
over. Hope it didn't get hit, did it?
I think air traffic
Dear, oh dear.
got a bogey off our starboard window.
That has gone a long, long, long way. So,
I think
there's people out in the car park. And I think that's over in Crosby Park, this one. Have a look at this one. Bang.
I think Mitch, our cameraman, he couldn't see it either. Get
That's
it from
gone.
another angle.
That has gone a long way. I think they might have to. I think they're calling for. There's there's the shadow of the helicopter coming. I think it might have landed in the helicopter.
That might have been air pole. Where's that? Got a missing ball.
Oh dear, the groundsman
Had to get up.
have to get up.
Oh, I think they're looking for another pill. Because if that's gone into Crosby Park, which every chance it has,
That was a
can't get in there because of the grounds under renovation.
It'll be the
Actually,
I love it.
it's actually over behind us where they got that tennis wall. Saha's over there, as is one of the groundsmen.
It brings up the 100 incidentally, by the way, as well. They've gone from 50 to 100 in 24 balls.
Well, they found it.
They've got the ball.
Yep, got it. Not too far away from the break in the windows.
It's got prickles on it, doesn't it? What's it come back with?
Come back with got a passport stamp on it.
Goodness gracious, that was a big hit. That was maximum number 7 for Gruel.
Yeah,
There we go. Cop that.
That's lovely footwork. Danced down the wicket, met it on the half volley, got underneath it, and 6. I don't even know why the umpire didn't put his hands up 2 seconds after he hit that, because that's just gone massive. As you said, the chopper flying over.
Okay.
Well, this might be an early finish if
I'll
there is
have a couple of
a
sausage
massive
rolls.
fall of wickets, a massive fall of wickets like there was at the back end of the university side.
27 off 51. Oh. Yeah,
Just shows you can play a lovely cover drive as well. It's Gruel 71 off 27. 27 required now from 50 deliveries, and the skipper Doogie Hill at a loss to find the next wicket. And there you go,
pushes
shoulders,
that one,
arms.
Push that one's a little bit quicker than Hill. Just wants to get out of the over, I think, and get like that.
Last ball will be spell coming up.
Hits that with plenty of venom, but no run. It's the 12 off the over, the 2 maximums.
Heard Hamish Gardner's hands out, but the last 2 overs he's been devastating, hasn't he, Gruel? He's pushed the game well and truly in the favour of the Vikings, and they're, well, just back in the ye olden days, going to pillage another victory here. They've won like 2-day competition norths.
Just having the 5 4s and 7 6s from Gruel, so what's that? 42, 62 of the 71 from boundaries.
That's outstanding.
And of course Dawson down the other end needs to get on with it.
You'd hate to slog and get out.
No, get on with it.
Yeah,
Hit out or get out. Come on.
Go.
19 off 33.
Well, Budden comes back into the attack here. He got a bit of a touch-up in his first over. Only the 8 runs, but still, they need to keep the run rate below 6.
Yeah, they don't have to do 27 off 8 overs. Very comfortable for them at the moment. Just remembering, as we went with us for, Guy Rushton, 4 wickets in 5 balls at the end of the university innings. Ended up taking 5 for 14 from, only allowed 2 overs, took 5 from 14.
Yeah, Budden.
Budden stuttering in again.
He's had the short steps to the creases, Budden, but just tells you just how big his shoulders are to get that sort of pace once he gets to the crease. And that brings Gruel back on strike. Dawson getting a single out to extra
Hasn't
cover.
hit a boundary, Dawson. 20 off 34.
He looks fresh, doesn't he? Looks like he's just gone out there, Dawson.
Took 3 catches in the first innings and put down another one, which would have been an absolute screamer. Did well to get a hand to it.
Well, he's walked to square leg and still managed to get a late cut down the backward point for a single.
Just Budden following him across. 25 now off 48. the partnership up to 90 between these two.
Yeah, can't see them actually not being there at the end either.
56 balls. Once again, Dawson just pushing it out. Then they're trying to run themselves out. He's out. Dawson went down the pitch. They had a look at each other. And actually, it's Gruel, isn't it? Sorry. He took the single.
Well,
and took off again, and the one. And we tried to decide to go back for two, and
sure, we might get a better angle from the other end.
just saying, these bat was in the air, I think, weren't they?
This might show us.
They went a long way
back
down. He was down. I'm not quite sure that's out, but
It's not out. That's why you're not so sure, Brad. It's not out. That's why.
anyway, fantastic knot from Gruel. Disappointing way to finish it. Run out for 72. Yeah, okay.
I'll make mistakes. End of the partnership that would have blossomed to a lovely 90. It's come to an end.
5 4s and 7 6s.
Dawson
90 won the
remains.
partnership. Of course, they got a single.
Nathan Carroll to the crease. So Gruel the man out, 72 off 31. Well, like I said, the only way the students were going to get a wicket was actually a run out, and they've got that one. Hold your tongue, John. So Gruel, 72 off 31 deliveries. Outstanding knock, a match-winning knock, if you will, from Addy Gruel. Unless we see a collapse of heat proportions. I think they're home and hose, the Vikings.
Well fielded. Nice bit of fielding there by Hamish Gardner.
His dad,
Nathan Carroll,
me.
new batsman.
Mr. Carroll goes to every game. He's probably here in the stands. See his son play. He's not a young man, but still makes his way to Webb Harris or wherever his son Hamish is playing cricket. So Budden.
Just up on the screen, we've got the wrong batsman out. In fact, it was Gruel was out. Dawson's still out there. Carroll's off the mark with a single.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've got...
So Dawson's on, moves on to, got a 1, didn't he? So Dawson's actually on 20. Carroll, the other batsman, so 2 for 107 the score. The an appeal from the spectators.
Dawson's the batsman out there. Well, I think he's got the wrong batsman. I think Gruel's the batsman run out. But he's still in on the thing as being still in. Because Dawson's still out there. Get that changed for you, but in the meantime, I don't think it really matters.
So
Dylan DeRosa to come back after getting a bit of a touch-up with his first over.
So 2 for 107 the score at the moment.
There we go. Carroll out there as Dylan DeRosa right arm over from the northern end. Needs a hat-trick. Needs a Rushton spell.
It's
Is that the Vikings
24.
chanting down there? Got the horns on?
I think the horses are going around again.
Oh, I might be too. Dylan DeRosa. Well, I think really the turning point may have been that Saha over, Brad, 18 off it.
Yeah.
They were certainly struggling at the time at university, but that just put them over the line, the Vikings.
Got that scoreboard's fixed up now. 107 at the moment. Been a very controlled knock by Dawson, hasn't it? He just played the role perfectly with Gruel hitting 5 4s and 7 6s at the other end.
Yeah. Nothing else he could do. Wide of the crease, really wide of the
Now
crease.
he's having a bit of a swing. Decided with 22 from 39 he can have a bit of a dig. Yeah, 2 for 107 at the same time. 3 for 89 University, but of course they fell away badly at the end. He lost 6 for 39 from that point.
No ball. Free hit, the first no ball in the match as well.
And also that's the first boundary for Dawson as well.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah.
what's that?
Well, they've got a free hit as well to add to the 4 for that ball. Or 5, actually. I think he's been called for a back foot.
Outside, he's
Outside
bowling
the-
very wide. Yeah, that's what
Yep.
they're saying. Yeah, back foot outside the white line there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's white.
You must land your
Yeah.
back foot inside the white line, and he's bowling very wide on the
Well,
crease.
that's what it's there for, that white line. But it's because otherwise he's bowled
Stop
over
bowling
the
in
third
from
pitch.
side on.
Yeah. So free hit here for Dawson.
He tried to
Well,
swung his arms out of his sockets.
they already got 5 off that delivery anyway. But yeah, it's somebody might be able to message me as to what that actual line's called, because I've never actually seen a wide call from that spot. DeRosa again. This time just there. He's launched into that one there as Dawson.
Yeah. And good on him too. He's obviously played his role, and now with in terms of just holding up one end, and now that Gruel's gone, he thought, I'll have a bit of fun there. Down to 11 off 37 balls. They're not in any trouble. So Dawson, you'd have to think he'd be seeing him pretty well by now.
Thank God.
41 balls out there.
Thank God for that fence.
DeRosa, 21 off 11 balls. Just reaching for that one, Dawson. Picks up a single. That's the end of the over. 2 for 119 after 14 overs. 10 required from 6 overs. I reckon you and I could get out there and maybe knock a few of those off now, mate.
If there was 3 of you and 3 of me, they would fall short by
You think so?
6 runs. That great knock there from Gruel.
It was,
And-
wasn't it?
and-
And unfortunate to see him end in the way he did, but anyway, that's...
what it was now. But the win was probably established the way they fielded and the way they bowled in the first inning.
Well, I mean, right through, and the Uni started okay. They got to 1 for 36 off the power play after losing a wicket after 3 balls. But really, they just couldn't get going after that. As I said, only the 3 boundaries after the end of the 7th over, 1 4 2 6s, from the 2 6s from Garrity. But yeah, they just never kicked on, and big Russian came on and picked up 5 wickets in the 18th and 20th over, including 4 wickets in 5 balls. So, but by that stage, they were really struggling. Oh, nice fielding there. It's the single for Dawson. There's Budden. Old okay, Budden, none for 13 off 2.1 overs, but they really needed wickets, didn't they, Uni? When you set a target of only 129 to win, you're not going to contain a team to that. And they needed wickets and they just weren't able to get them, and unfortunately Gruel with the sensational innings, 50 up off 19 balls, really paid to their chances as this time just clearing the fieldsman's head. Big leap in the air out there from Paul Woodford, but Carroll hits his first boundary. One hit needed now, 5 from 34. And they're going to do this, you would have to think, within the 15 overs. So they top the table, Norths, just the one loss. And the University of Queensland, of course, getting in on run rate, level in second place with 3 other teams. And Norths they've just dominated this game. They've bowled well, they bowled to their field, they fielded well, they took their catches.
Yeah.
And here's attempting to finish with one shot, but unfortunately it's just going to plug out there, so pick up 2, Carroll. Down to 4-3 to win. But yeah, they've just been dominant, haven't they, North? So they've done it very, very comfortably.
Yeah, the power play, they had 4 different bowls for the first 4 overs, so they mixed it up, which just...
Well, I think they bowled to their field. That was the... You know,
We
even
saw,
though they weren't taking wickets, they weren't taking wickets, but they bowled to their field and they were containing the batsmen, and just no one from the uni side could get going.
We saw Best do that best, didn't he? He bowled well outside the
And
offside.
that'll finish it off. Carroll hits the boundary, and so they've done it with 32 balls to spare. Congratulations, North. Just too good in the end. As we said, they bowled well. All the bowlers. I think the 4 bowlers had 4 overs between them. Only conceded between 24 and 30, the 4 of them. So Carroll took the 2 wickets who we just saw hit the winning runs. McFadden and McPherson are over each, a wicket each. Sorry. And then, of course, Rushton came on a couple of overs at the end and tied it up the tail, with Jess also getting none for 8 off his 2 overs. So they bowled really well. They bowled to their field. And then, of course, in the North innings, it was Gruel. Came out, smashed it all over the grounds, hit, 5 4s, 7 6s, 50 off 19 balls. Eventually run out for 72. And Dawson just held up an end, opened the batting. Ended up with 33 off 43. Carroll hitting a couple of boundaries to finish it off at the end. But congratulations to North, thoroughly deserved victory. They were just too good in this Allan Pettigrew Shield.
Yes, the students, unfortunately, unable to add to their silverware, but well done to Northern Suburbs. The Vikings have come to Allan Border Field. They pillaged, they're taking home the silverware, and well done to the men from Shore Road. As you can see, the players coming out to make congratulations and also to receive their medallions. We're going to take a break here. Remember, 2:10. We'll be back here live for a 2:15 start between Western Suburbs and Valleys for the first grade, the Tom Beavers Cup. And we look forward to your company then. And Brad, if anything like the first game, they're going to get a bigger fence on their far side.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it, the main game? I'm not sure. We saw a little bit of movement early off the pitch in terms of Belford got a couple just to, I think it was, just sort of dragged around a bit, didn't they? Bester, sorry, just a couple moved off the pitch with a lot of swing early for Jess. He really swung them around early, but after that it seemed to play pretty well. And I think it's one of those pitches you've just got to bowl your lines well and bowl to your field. North did that, and unfortunately then University did, and we saw what they ended up getting to, 130 off 14.4 overs. They were well and truly on the way to a 200 plus score, so I reckon we're in for a really exciting afternoon crickets in the top grade.
There's some carnage out there, and none better than Andrew Godey when he goes nuts. So we will
what
be
about
back.
his innings early in the year?
It's been outstanding. He's not the first time he's made his way into the second 11 side. He probably should make himself from the Shield way he's going. But presentation, we'll leave the pictures on here. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back shortly for the first grade final, starting at 2:10 this afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the presentation ceremony for the men's second grade T20 competition grand final. Firstly, I'd just like to make a big thank you to Jared Byrne and the curators for their efforts out here today. Great to have access to AB Field for a final. Some other key thank yous from me for the sponsors of the Premier Cricket, Skyfleet Motors, and also Bulls Masters and Kookaburra. Thanks to them. Then up in the box we've got the scorers. We had Peter Snell and Liam McCracken up there doing a great job. Thanks up there. As usual on the live stream, we had John Devine, his team at Corner Sports. Thanks to John and his team. This is the last one from me before we get to the clubs. From our umpires, we had Rob Dunbar, Tom Logan, and in reserve, Mark Davis, and thank you for them. To both sides, congratulations. University of Queensland and Northern Suburbs are two strong clubs and have played a lot of cricket in this grade the last few years, and it was a great final, and both had strong campaigns throughout the season. So congratulations to both sides, their captains and clubs and coaches for getting here, so well done for both. I'll now invite up Captain of the University of Queensland, Doogie Hill, to say a few things.
We'd just like to thank the ground staff for preparing the ground today, scorers, thank you very much, umpires, Davo, Tom, Rob, thank you very much. Uni outplayed today, that's what happens, we learn, we move on. Norse, absolute belting, well done. Adi, I thought you batted unbelievable, well done mate.
Thanks, Doogie. I'll now call up the captain of Northern Suburbs, Tom O'Malley, to say a few words.
First of all, thanks to Uni. Well done for a great white ball campaign. It's always a pleasure playing you guys. I see we always play in finals as well, and it was a tough contest today, so well done to Doogie and you guys. Well done. Thanks to Queensland Cricket, obviously getting the game on AB is nice, so we thank them, we thank Rob, Tom and Davo for their efforts, and just a special mention to Michael Wright for all the work he does behind the scenes on Premier Cricket, so thanks Mick. To our club, thanks to the boys coming down and supporting, really appreciated it this morning, and big thanks to our President PK, the work that John Hope does, as well as our coaching staff, and especially Ducko and Nev from our team for all their efforts. Thanks a lot, fellas. And finally, our boys, it was a great campaign. Special mention to Horry for the work he did early in the tournament. Definitely set us on the right trajectory to have a win. And everyone had their day across the tournament. So well done, everyone deserves it. And a special mention to Guy and Addy for their efforts today. Well done, boys. Let's call that team. James McPherson. Robbie Jess. Zach Allan. Toby Snell. Bernie Bester. Andy Grill. Michael Dawson, Nathan Carroll, Guy Rushton, Nathan Horrocks, Noel McFadden, Coach Michael Maynard.
And for Tom O'Malley. I'll now get CEO of Queensland Cricket, Terry Svensson, to award the second grade T20 Premiership for 2019-20 to Northern Suburbs. Congratulations, North. Thanks everyone, that concludes the ceremony. Hang around for the first grade clash between Valleys and Western Suburbs, with the winner taking on Queensland Sport in the National Premier T20. So great afternoon for you. Thanks everyone, cheers.